Recently, an online game called Parallel World, with comprehensive technology, is undergoing beta testing. The first day it started was extremely bustling. Our main character is Guay. Due to his curious nature, he was given an account by his student for him to experience this new technology game. Just like any other MMORPG, new players who log in will arrive at the newbie village. The scene on the first day is naturally chaotic. Numerous newbies swarm around the NPCs, or as we call them, NPCs. NPCs are characters in the game not controlled by players, often used to advance the plot and assign quests. The newbies are chattering among themselves. Ha ha ha, I'm Harry Potter. Me too. I'll buy it too. Guay logs into the game and he himself is also a mage. He exclaims in frustration, "Ugh, why does this feel so painful? I wanted to play a martial artist, but I ended up becoming a mage. The class I least like to play is a mage, and yet, let me explain a bit about the game. The professions in the game are divided into warrior, thief, archer, martial artist, knight, priest. Attributes and characteristics all have differences. Warrior high, physical attack, top-tier defense. Thief high, critical hit rate. High agility and top-tier controls made him #1 on the battlefield. Mage, top-tier magic attack. And also the profession with the least HP, or as some call it, paper HP. Knight high defense and team support abilities, logistics for team battles. Martial artist, a profession with strong control, characterized by maintaining high combos. Archer possesses long-range attack capabilities, can snipe anyone from the furthest possible distance. Priest, the only healing profession, more resilient than a cockroach. This is like a support character buffing HP. Guay thought to himself, it's all because of that kid Afa. Acting on his own, he set up the account name and profession for me. This happened a day ago. Afa was happily promoting it to his classmates. This is a game with comprehensive techniques, guys. Movement, skill, execution don't require a keyboard or mouse at all. It's exactly like real-life movements, the other kids exclaimed in surprise. Is it that realistic? Afa opened his mouth wide and said, of course, hitting someone and being hit will feel just like the real thing. Although there's no real injury, it still hurts a lot. Just imagine how satisfying that feeling is. So this is the progress of the era currently in testing. It's extremely difficult to get an account. After hearing this, Guay immediately had a plan in mind, comprehensive techniques synchronized with real-life movements. So, isn't it possible? So he ran to his student and said, Afa, what game are you talking about? Afa happily replied, Ha, teacher, Guay. The game's name is Parallel World. You need full equipment to play. It's very expensive. Teacher. Guay stroked his chin, thought for a moment, then replied, expensive is not a problem. Afa grinned mischievously and asked, how do you want to play, teacher? I have an extra account, I can give it to you. The other guys mocked, sucking up, despise you. There. So our Guay reluctantly became a mage. He held his head and sighed. The result, it ended up like this. Not to mention, if I play in the future, can I only be a mage? This isn't my purpose for playing this. Has it all turned to dust? That kid Afa, if I see you, I'll spank your butt until it's sore. But just as he finished speaking, Afa showed up, his whole body tattered and bruised. Guay startled and shouted, Afa. Afa cried and called out to Guay, teacher. The guys around looked surprised and asked. Teacher Guay glanced around and reminded him, stop it, kid, don't call me teacher here. Or else. Then he turned to ask his student, what's wrong? Did you PK with someone? PK means going to kill other players, or being killed by others. Then you'll immediately be sent back to the respawn point, but you'll lose levels and sometimes even drop equipment. Each time you kill a person, you'll accumulate 1 PK point. If you PK too much, you'll also be punished by the system. Afa replied in distress, no, I was beaten up by others. PK requires using in-game skills which will reduce HP, but now it's a comprehensive mode. They beat me up like street thugs. Although it doesn't reduce HP, it hurts a lot. After hearing this, Guay stroked his chin and thought comprehensive mode. Then he turned around aggressively. Let me go find them. This made Afa's eyes widen in disbelief, so he quickly grabbed Guay's hand. Don't go, teacher, you're a mage. Your stamina and strength are no match for those knights. How can you win fighting like this? But Guay seriously turned back and asked, did you forget I know martial arts? After hearing this, Afa looked completely dejected. Teacher Guay, it would have been better if you hadn't mentioned that. Because Teacher Guay knows martial arts in high school. It was the joke of the year. Below is an illustration of this school story, because it was captured by the camera at the school gate. Here we can see a young man being beaten by an old white-haired wrinkled man, his face swollen with no strength to fight back. This segment is named The Old Man in His Prime. The culprit is an old man with disheveled white hair, and the victim is none other than our martial arts knowing Teacher Guay. Even the principal said this. What is shameless? If Teacher Guay still says he knows martial arts, then that's the most shameless thing I've ever known. After hearing this, everyone burst out laughing, ha ha ha. However, Guay calmly walked over and confidently said to his student, "Don't worry about it. I'll be right back." Watching the handsome and dashing back of his teacher walk away, Afa's heart was filled with countless thoughts. He thought and thought finally, deciding to follow his teacher. He thought to himself, "Damn, I'll just get beaten up a bit more, it's just a game. Right? I won't get hurt for real." On this side, a newbie is being ganged up on and beaten. Everyone ganged up and beat him to death. The sounds of thwack, thwack, smack, smack echoed incessantly. The young man was beaten until he fell into a corner. Guay was now hiding behind the teacher and reported, "Teacher, there are several of them." Guay at this moment didn't know where he got the confidence from and shouted coldly, "You guys stop." The thugs saw him turned around at the same time and spoke to each other. "Someone's here, a level 1 mage." The guy with chicken-colored hair who seemed to be the leader grinned slyly. Hey, another punching bag has arrived to take a beating." Guay reminded his student, "Afa, stay still, okay?" After hearing this, Afa's voice trembled as he called back, "Teacher." Then the 4 thugs stood at 4 corners surrounding Guay. The guy with chicken-colored hair announced, "We're going to give you a good beating right now." Then the blonde guy rushed forward to start the combat, or to put it simply, to start the fight. This guy threw a punch straight at Guay's face. Guay turned to look, identifying the opponent's attack. He gently tilted his head to one side. The other guy's punch missed. Guay bent his knees slightly and gently jumped up. The guy with a scar on his forehead angrily asked, "How could you dodge that?" But Guay had already lifted his leg and kicked the shaggy dog's mouth askew. With just a smack, this guy's face was twisted to a 45-degree angle. The chicken-colored hair guy saw his subordinate get his mouth kicked askew. He gritted his teeth and assessed, indeed, he's got some skills. The guy next to him anxiously called out, "Boss, boss." The chicken-colored hair guy now aggressively rushed forward and said to his underlings, "He's just a mage anyway, no need to be afraid. Get him for me." Guay coldly turned back to look at the approaching opponent. Chicken Hair threw a direct punch at Guay's face, but Guay was faster. He ducked to avoid it. Guay's hand had curled into a claw, simultaneously pulling back to gather momentum. Next, he straightened up and swung his arm. A claw strike hit Chicken Hair's chin, the sound of teeth breaking. Crack, crack. At this moment, Chicken Hair's underlings appeared behind Guay, intending to sneak attack. Guay naturally discovered it. He gently raised his hand to block. A smack sound echoed. Guay said to the other guy, "Playing like that is a bit dangerous, you know." The other guy saw his attack blocked. This was indeed beyond his expectation. This guy let out a huh. But before the surprise ended, Guay rushed forward and slapped this guy. After receiving the slap, the red-haired guy's face turned to one side, black eyes bruised, lips, teeth, and lips all mixed up. The scar-headed guy saw his comrades being beaten immediately, grabbed an iron mace, rushed forward, and yelled, "Whoa, ha!" But Guay had already leaped up continuously, kicking each guy in the face. Thud, smack, smack. Chicken Hair saw this and thought to himself, "He's truly a madman. The more he fights, the fiercer he gets. It's terrifying." The guys who were beaten with bruised heads ran over and asked Chicken Hair boss, "What should we do? We can't beat him." Chicken Hair sighed. "Today is really unlucky. We ran into a tough guy. If we can't beat him, then run what else? Retreat quickly," saying that he turned and fled. Guay's face darkened as he called out to the other guys, "Hey, after hitting someone, you want to leave without apologizing." Chicken Hair turned back and asked, "Apologize? You haven't killed us yet. On what grounds should we apologize?" Afa looked at the HP bars of the other guys, then said to his teacher, "That's right, their health bars are still full. They were beaten to a pulp like that, but their health bars didn't decrease. It's a major bug. Bug is the name for a glitch in the game." After hearing this, Guay smirked faintly. Heh, heh. He bent down, reached out, and picked up a stone. Then Guay used his divine finger bullet. Oh, wrong. This is only in Jin Yong's stories here. It's just a normal throw. A smack echoed. Chicken Hair was hit by the stone right between his eyebrows. Although the force wasn't strong enough to kill Chicken Hair, it was enough to cause him pain. After being hit by the stone, Chicken Hair immediately clutched his forehead, his whole body trembling. He gritted his teeth and shouted, "You!" Guay, having succeeded on this side, continued in a loud voice, "If I had shot your eye, what would you be like now?" Chicken Hair, upon hearing this, jumped in surprise and thought to himself, could it be this guy is so confident he can hit wherever he aims? Perhaps he's just bluffing. So Chicken Hair angrily shouted, "You brat, who are you trying to scare? It'll be a long time before I'm afraid of you." After hearing this, Guay used his foot to flick the stone underneath upwards. He caught it with his hand and chuckled faintly, "Heh, heh." Then he coldly threw the small stone in his hand towards Chicken Hair. This time, Chicken Hair was really hit in the eye. Luckily, his reflexes were still good, so he closed his eyes. The stone hit his eye. Chicken Hair screamed, "Arg!" Chicken Hair's underlings saw this and were speechless. Could it be we've encountered Little Lee Flying Dagger? Why is his throw so accurate? Guay said coldly to Chicken Hair. In reality, your eye would be fine, but here, consider one eye blind. You only have one left. After hearing this, Chicken Hair gritted his teeth in anger, but couldn't say a word. Chicken Hair's underlings saw their boss being thoroughly beaten up, immediately stuttered, "Sorry, please forgive us." Guay turned around and told the other guy to scram. Chicken Hair hurriedly said to his underlings, "Quick, quick, get me out of here. Old 3 has already left." Afa, now full of worry, asked his teacher, "Teacher, are you hurt?" Guay replied, "How could that be? That 3-legged cat kung fu, they'd only be able to touch me when pigs fly." Afa happily asked again, "Teacher, do you really know martial arts?" Guay gave a thumbs up to confirm, "Of course, I've been practicing since I was a child." Afa still didn't believe the truth, and asked again, "Teacher, Guay really knows martial arts?" This isn't surprising. Guay comes from a martial arts family, but in this generation he's the only one left. There isn't even anyone to practice with. The truth is very cruel. Martial arts these days make it hard to earn a living, so Guay had to become a PE teacher to make ends meet, and what he practices is fighting techniques. This technique requires a lot of practical combat. But his old man forbade him from participating in any fighting competitions. Guay's old man sternly reminded him, "We practice martial arts to train ourselves to break through human limits, not to play hero." If this old man looks familiar, that's right. This is the old man who beat up Guay at the school gate. Guay angrily said to his old man, "Practice but not allowed to use it. Are you kidding me?" After hearing this, Guay's old man's face darkened, and he shouted, "You can practice with me, son." So the father and son practiced right in front of the school gate. Although Guay's kung fu is formidable, how can he compare to the old man who has decades of experience on him? So this is the truth of that day. Guay's old man threw his son to the ground and shouted, "Messing with your dad, huh?" Then he boldly declared, "Do you hear clearly? This is the family rule. Absolutely, do not use martial arts to harm anyone, not even bad people. Police matters are not your concern, son." So a body full of martial arts ultimately helped nothing. He could only go to high school to teach PE until he heard some students discussing a new game where they could use their own techniques. This gave him a glimmer of hope. In the virtual world, he could flexibly use his martial arts to fight. Martial artist is the most suitable profession for Guay. Not only can he fight at will, but he also doesn't harm anyone. In a Fae's heart, it was a beautiful prospect. Ha ha ha, it's truly wonderful. Unfortunately, that dream was destroyed by that muddle-headed Fa indeed. Beautiful dreams often shatter. He himself became the weakest paper HP character in the game, a mage. But thinking about still being able to give opponents a hard time, Guay thought carefully. Just now, I was still able to use martial arts to defeat them. It also means my mage still has martial arts skills. If it were a martial artist, its attributes would enhance personal abilities more than a mage's. However, being a mage doesn't mean it's useless. In that case, I can just be a melee mage. At this moment, Fa interrupted Guay's train of thought. This guy shouted loudly, "Teacher Yue." Guay turned to look at the young man lying flat in the corner and asked, "Is he okay?" Then he ran over to help the young man up and asked kindly, How are you, friend? The purple-haired young man replied, I'm fine, I'm fine. Thank you, Guay thought to himself. This guy has such a scholarly demeanor. No wonder he wasn't targeted by those rhino-headed guys. Then Guay helped Purple Hair stand up, pointed to the fountain, and said, Sit down and rest for a bit. Purple Hair ran to the fountain, washed his face, and regained his handsome appearance. Then he introduced himself. Hello, everyone, I am Hongchen Yao, one smile in the mortal world. Guay shook Hongchen Yao's hand and said, Qianli Yizui. 1,000 miles, one drunkenness. A fa also excitedly cheered a fa. But in Guay's heart, he thought, it's the fault of that pig-brained a fa. What kind of name is that? Like a drunkard. At this point, a question arises about the characters' names. For the main character, I will use his real name. As for other characters, I will call them by their in-game names. Let's agree on that. Hongchen Yao sighed. Comprehensive technique is being used in an online game for the first time. Sooner or later, there will be bugs, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. Qianli Yizui. After hearing this, had a question. It sounds like you're a game staff member. Hongchen Yao replied. Previously, I received a report from a player saying someone was bullying others by exploiting class differences. So I went in to check, and unexpectedly, I was unlucky enough to get beaten up too. Afa was excited internally. A game staff member if I can stick with this guy. Maybe I can get some top-tier equipment and secret information. Guay asked again. So how will this be handled? Hongchen Yao replied. I don't know either. We have to wait for the technical team to redesign it. Seeing the two of them staring blankly at the sky, Afa asked Guay, What are you two looking at? Guay replied, I'm seeing what he's looking at. At this moment, Hongchen Yao honestly replied, My nose has been bleeding non-stop, young man. This made the teacher and student pair completely dumbfounded. Hongchen Yao turned back and said, All right, I have to go check somewhere else. What about you guys? Guay replied, I want to go level up. As for Afa, he took this opportunity to approach Hongchen Yao, who tugged at his sleeve, and suggested, I want to follow you to watch. However, Hongchen Yao had already guessed the intention of this little rascal. So he said, Hey, young man, I'm just a normal player assigned a task, that's all. Don't expect to get anything good from me. Afa startled and denied vehemently. I didn't mean that, I just want to wander around to understand the game better. Hongchen Yao suggested to Guay, So friend, do you want to go understand the game better? Guay waved his hand and refused. No need. You guys go ahead. Afa also waved goodbye to his teacher. Bye-bye, teacher changed scene leveling area outside the city. Guay stepped outside and said happily, If the leveling area is too difficult, then this mage physique, can it utilize my martial arts? Then he was proud and shouted, Monsters, I'm here. But here there was only a crowd of people gathered. Guay looked at the monsters below and roared curses. Damn are these monsters! In front of Guay was a group of monsters, like Pokemon. They formed a formation to surround Guay. These guys used the cutest moves to deal critical damage. One even clung to Guay's leg to cuddle. Damn, this kind of damage is truly unbearable. Guay sweated and thought to himself, Too cute, I can't bring myself to attack, should I fight or not. However, Guay had already kicked that adorable monster. To hell with it, leveling up is important. The kids standing nearby were also attracted by Guay's actions. They looked over at the same time. Then the whole crowd clamored in protest, Love animals. Protecting animals is protecting ourselves. Animals are good friends of humanity. They say that, but absolutely none of them are vegetarian. The kids cuddling these cute cheese stick monsters then said, No more leveling up. They're too adorable, so cute. Why design such cute little monsters here? Guay sweated and thought to himself, If I can't attack, then I can just change places, right? Guay moved to another spot, and he saw a group of bandits sitting there. He thought to himself, humanoid NPCs. The bandits here, every single one of them had shaved heads, scowling faces, eyes red as blood. Guay happily assessed. This is the right stuff for leveling up, isn't it? Surely no one would object to fighting bandits, right? Seeing Guay approach, the bandits also noticed. One stood up, gritted his teeth, and announced, Well, there's a fat sheep, go get him. Then all the bandits advanced to surround Guay. Guay looked at these bandits with sharp eyes. First, a high kick flipped the chin of a nearby bandit, causing him to fall backward. Next, he threw a punch that smashed the mouth of a guy in front. Then he threw a palm strike straight at another guy's face. 2 minutes later, all the bandits were down, and Guay had leveled up Chen Li Yizui to level 6. Guay thought to himself, it's much simpler than imagined. This kind of monster only knows how to repeat simple attacks, completely doesn't understand actively dodging. Truly tasteless, a bit disappointed with this game, the notification board appeared. Please select the attribute you want to increase. On the menu are the following options: physique, agility, strength. Guay thought to himself, my body is too weak now. I need to increase attributes and agility, that way it's easier to move. Later, if there's any left, I'll put it into strength. Only then can I reach my real-life level. After thinking, he immediately chose the agility box. After increasing the stats, Guay waved his arms and legs and said, indeed more agile. Then he became very excited. Let's continue training. Guay's target now was another group of bandits. Suddenly, a system notification sounded. Dear player, the game will disconnect in 10 seconds. Please prepare to log out. 10, 9, 8. Guay saw himself about to log out and immediately wondered, what's happening? Forced logout. What happened to the game? Change scene inside the meeting room. The boss is talking to the staff. The responsible staff members must resolve all outstanding issues this time. We used to focus our energy on categories like characters, quests, skills, equipment, but forgot. This is a comprehensive model. This time we must set up and fix the shortcomings of this model. All right, meeting adjourned. At this moment, the purple-haired young man stepped forward. This must be the young man, Hongchen Yao. The boss saw this guy still hadn't left and asked Xiao Wu, is there anything else? Hongchen Yao swiveled his chair and replied, boss, you truly understand me. The boss heard this and quickly asked, speak. Hongchen Yao sat down and said, today I encountered something that makes me feel this game will have a few more problems. The boss immediately asked, what problem? Hongchen Yao replied, because this is a comprehensive model, so some people will be able to bring their real-life skills into the game. Thus, they will have an advantage over other players. I'm afraid this won't be good for controlling balance. The boss heard this and asked in surprise, for example, what skill? Hongchen Yao said 2 concise words, Kung Fu. Like police military personnel, various martial artists can all break that balance point. The boss sighed after hearing this. Anyway, we can't forbid people from playing our game. Hongchen Yao agreed. Of course, it's just that these people gave me an idea. We can enhance the system with new functions, besides combat, to let a person's strengths in real life be utilized in the game as well. That way, ensuring balance will be easier. For example, real-life police officers can be bodyguards in the game. The boss heard this and frowned, saying, the difficulty is very high, but we can try it once. Quickly make a detailed plan for me to see. Hongchen Yao stood up and said, if the boss is satisfied, I'll leave first. The boss saw the guy preparing to leave and hurriedly called out, wait, I have a question for you. Why did you enter the game without permission? What are the company's regulations? You're not unaware. Hongchen Yao replied, company employees are not allowed to participate in the company's games. I don't quite agree because the game creators can't possibly suppress their own desires. And besides, I'm just a free player. Anything that's hidden or concealed, I won't touch. All right, I'll find someone to keep an eye on you. What's your nickname? The other guy replied. Hongchen Yao. Change scene inside Gufei's room. The sound of keyboard typing clickety-clack, clickety-clack. He happily exclaimed, hey, it's finally open again. I really don't know what kind of update the game company did that took so long. One update that lasted a whole month. I need to quickly get into the game and see. Saying that, Guay took out the rice cooker. Oh, wrong, the brainwave connection device. He pressed the start button. A tick sound, the light on the helmet lit up. The system issued a notification. You are currently logging into the game. Please put on the game helmet. The device now connects directly to Gufei's consciousness. He logged into the game and immediately grinned from ear to ear. Whoa, ha ha ha, it's been a long time since I could get in. But the joy didn't last long. Guay was pushed around by people until his mouth was distorted. He shouted, damn it, why are there so many people? He only saw people all around Guay. He randomly grabbed a guy and asked, brother, may I ask why there are suddenly so many people? The other guy honestly replied, learning skills currently level 6. You can learn the skills of that profession. Guay thought to himself, just my luck, I'm level 6. Then looking at the crowd in front, Guay was startled and horrified. No way, it's like queuing for a sale. Time passed. No one knows how long. Guay also managed to drag himself to the NPC, giving out gifts. Young man, here is your skill book. Please take it. Guay tremblingly raised his arm to take it. Lined up for too long. Can't even stand anymore. Thank you. The newbie skill for mages is Fireball. All over the yard and alley, the newbies are all playing with fire. Wow, your fireball is bigger than mine. Guay saw the fire in these guys' hands and thought, the visual effect of the skill is too realistic. Then those guys lined up together. They posed together. Together they cast spells. Fireball shoot, Guay thought to himself. There are quite a few show-offs. Suddenly a guy angrily said, it's really infuriating. Guay startled and turned to look. Guay reassured him. Don't be angry, did they tease you, friend? The other guy angrily pointed at his face and said, look at my name and you'll know. After hearing this, Guay's eyes widened as he looked. He saw the system send a notification. Fireball wants to be your friend. Accept or decline. Seeing these words, Guay immediately burst out laughing. Ho ho ho, no wonder it's frustrating to hear people shout, Fireball. So his name is Fireball, huh? After hearing this, Fireball went mad with anger and shouted, I'm so angry, I have to leave this painful place. Guay also suggested, this place is too noisy. I'll go with you. Then the two of them went to a forest. Guay asked the guy next to him, Little Fire, why did you choose such a name? Many mage skills are related to fireballs. Fireball replied sadly, who would want that? When my friend gave me this account, the name was already set. Even if I want to change it, I can't. After hearing this, Guay tightly gripped Fireball's hand and with tears in his eyes said, we're in the same boat, brother. I also wanted to play a martial artist, but in the end, my friend gave me a mage account. Fireball, seeing someone in the same situation, felt much more sympathetic. So you wanted to be a martial artist, huh? Mages aren't bad either. Their damage is quite high. Currently, the game stipulates 1 account per person, so just resign yourself to being a mage. Not far from there, a wild boar monster was baring its fangs and growling. The newbies at this time, their faces even fiercer than the pig rushed in to kill it. They shouted, brothers, charge, looking at its face makes me want to beat it up. This is the real monster for leveling up. On this side, Guay had punched an evil old wolf in the mouth. This creature, after taking a punch, immediately had its eyes pop out and cried, oink oink. Fireball, seeing his comrade using fists and kicks to beat the monster, shouted, brother mages don't play like that, do they? Guay didn't care either. He gleefully looked at the item in front of him and shouted, drop this much money. Then Guay quickly collected the money bag and put it in his pocket. He exclaimed, the inventory bag of Parallel World is indeed very convenient. It's like Doraemon's magic pocket, easy to take things out and put them in. At this moment, Fireball looked to the side and said, the monster being beaten over there. It looks tougher than the normal ones. It turned out the monster Fireball saw was the wild boar that was being bullied by the other group earlier. It exuded a fierce killing aura. Fireball happily shouted, I'm here too. Fireball pew. After saying that this guy launched a fireball, the wild boar was about to die when it was burned to death by Fireball's fireball. The guys on the other side startled and shouted, hey, Fireball, happily shouted, with me here I guarantee enough roasted pork to eat. However, the joy didn't last long. A hand landed on Fireball's shoulder and said, kid, you dare steal our monster, you got some nerve, huh? Fireball blankly asked, this aren't everyone just playing casually. The other guy also dazedly asked Fireball, don't you see we're in the same guild? On this side, Guay thought to himself, a guild, huh? The other guy pointed at his comrades behind him and declared, dare to steal from our Defying Heaven guild. Don't you want to live anymore? However, facing the threat from the Defying Heaven guild, Fireball just chuckled faintly. Hey, Guay thought to himself at this moment. Fireball is so calm, could it be? He knows martial arts? But contrary to Guay's thoughts, Fireball put on a sly, provocative expression. So what can you guys do to me? I'm only level 1. The guys from Defying Heaven Guild thought to themselves, the more despicable a person is, the harder they are to deal with, because according to game rules, a level 1 player cannot be PK'd by others. The leader at this moment had come up with a countermeasure. He grinned slyly. Hey, you think just because you're level 1, we can't do anything to you? Men grab him, drown him in the river from me. After saying that, a menacing crowd surrounded Fireball. Fireball saw this, his face pale as a frog's butt, and cried out, "Hey, wait!" Then those guys picked up Fireball and ran towards the riverbank. Fireball cried a river and wailed loudly. "I don't know, I'll really die. Let me go, you guys are too sinister." "Who's there?" Misheard cry for help. "Is anyone there? Help me?" Another misheard cry. Seeing such a situation, Guay spoke up to mediate. "Gentlemen, don't get agitated. It's just a misunderstanding. Let's talk things over slowly." One of them angrily asked Guay, "Who is this guy? Don't meddle in other people's business." Fireball screamed, "Hey, that's my friend, leave him alone." After hearing this, those guys' faces immediately darkened and they asked, "Friend, huh? Then throw him into the river." So they shouted and rushed towards Guay, but in just a blink of an eye, a few smack sounds, smack, 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 echoed. 3 guys were already down. They thrashed about and asked each other, what happened? 3 of us attacked together and were knocked down. We didn't even see clearly what happened. Why are all 3 of them on the altar, dead, defeated? The remaining guys started to get scared. I think I saw it's all rotten. His name clearly indicates he's a mage. How can a mage have such a total wind-rot skill? Likely a misinterpretation of a fast, powerful attack. Another guy assessed, wearing mage clothes doesn't necessarily mean he's a mage. On the other side, Fireball screamed, "Hey, aren't you going to let me go quickly?" After saying that, Fireball was thrown to the ground with a thud. This guy cried out, "Oh my God, my guts and lungs. My butt." It's about to be shattered into a dozen pieces. Guay hurriedly ran over to ask the other guy, "Fireball, are you okay?" Then they went into the forest together. Guay suggested to Fireball, "Go, let's rest a bit in the forest over there." One guy asked the leader, "Boss, should we chase them?" The other guy trembled with anger and shouted, "Chase? What the hell, can we even beat that guy to chase him? Defeated 3 people in a blink of an eye, none of us can do that." On this side, Fireball said to Guay, "Luckily, this is a game, my butt hurts less now. That friend just now was really tough, scared the whole bunch from chasing." But Guay didn't care, he just asked, "Where are we going now?" "There's a monster spawning area ahead, let's go there to train." Looking in the direction Guay pointed, several zombies had appeared. Fireball saw them and immediately jumped back a few steps and said, "Oh my God, level 20 monsters, and so many of them in one place. Qianli, run quickly. What are you standing there for? Come here quickly." Guay sweated, pointed at them and said, "We have to kill these guys to level up." Fireball cried out in fear, "I don't want to die. I'm only level 1. Guay stepped forward and said, "Then wait, there, watch me perform." Fireball shouted loudly, "If you die, I can't save you." Guay at this moment stepped forward and shouted, "Fireball." Fireball heard someone call his name and immediately replied, "Here I am." But looking at the blazing fireball in Guay's hand, Fireball understood it wasn't calling him damn. "I thought you were calling me." Then this guy happily cheered. I get it. Items in the game can be equipped randomly, but skills can't deceive people. You really are a mage. But what's the point of holding a short sword? That's a thief's item. It's really infuriating enough to flip a table. Guay at this moment had run at full speed to the zombies, watching. "Guay, run and talk. I'm here." Fireball shouted, "Oh my God, what kind of mage runs faster than a squirrel? Could it be he's wearing speed-enhancing shoes?" Guay in a flash jumped into the middle of the zombie formation. Looking at the scene before him, Fireball became dumbfounded. "Hey, here." Guay bent his leg and kicked a zombie down. Then he used his hand to block a punch from one. Then he ducked to avoid a punch from another. Looking at this scene, Fireball thought to himself, "It seems the monsters can't touch him. Can he find opportunities to attack while dodging? What kind of monster is Qianli? After all, could it be he knows a bug to level up by killing monsters? How can a mage be so violent and agile?" Later, Guay stood there sighing. "These guys' movements are too simple, no challenge at all." Fireball hurriedly ran over and asked, "Qianli, let me ask you, what level are you?" Guay replied, "Level 10. What's wrong?" Fireball became terrified and asked again, "So do you know what level those guys just now were?" Guay calmly replied, "I checked, roughly level 20. Fireball continued to scream, "A 10-level difference, man, and you just charged in with a short sword. It's truly a severe shock." At this moment, Fireball turned around and asked dazedly, "There are so many people over there. It seems they're coming towards us, only to see the Defying Heaven Guild members swarming over, so crowded it's like a swarm. Guay assessed. They're coming for us, Fireball asked in surprise. How do you know? Guay replied. Because there's killing intent. Fireball asked again. Is it that fierce? That's right. I see that flat-faced guy. He just called himself a member of the Defying Heaven Guild. Guay reminded. You'll have to protect yourself later. After hearing this, Fireball calmly said, What's the need? I'm only level 1, protected from PK. Even if there are more, I'm not afraid. Guay reminded. So you forgot. They just wanted to send you to play with the river god. Drown you. After hearing this, Fireball's face went blank, remembering the situation. Then he turned pale with fear and said, Oh no, I'm dead. I'll just hide behind you to be safe. Qian Li, protect me. Then he quickly hid behind Guay. At this moment, the flat-faced guy aggressively said to his comrade's guild leader, It's that guy. Fireball peeked out and asked, Guay, why are those people talking to thin air? Are their brains waterlogged? But Guay at this moment had already detected a hidden person, so he said to his comrades, No, there's someone there. From the thin air, a black aura appeared, a swish sound echoed. In front of everyone, a cloak fluttered. A young man appeared and said, Hello, I am the guild leader of the Defying Heaven Guild, Guy Jian Ghost Sword. Fireball stuttered, Guild, the guild leader is here. Why does that name Guy Jian sound so familiar? Guy Jian introduced himself. We came from the demon realm into this parallel world. Guay thought to himself, Demon Realm. I've heard of this game. It sounds very popular. All the kids in class are playing it. Fireball asked loudly, Wait a minute, you guys are the Defying Heaven Guild from the Demon Realm. The guild leader here. I heard that in the Demon Realm, you are the #1 demon swordsman who cultivates both demonic and martial arts. Guy Jian. After hearing this, immediately confirmed with Fireball, It is indeed me. Fireball exhaled sharply and said, Then how come you're so short? Compared to the majestic image in my imagination, 1,000 miles off, could you be a fake? These words were like an arrow straight through Guy Jian's heart. Guy Jian immediately lost his spirit. The underlings immediately reassured him. Guild leader, don't be sad. Guild leader, don't cry. Guay thought to himself, I really didn't expect this Fireball guy to have such a spitting skill verbal attack. At this moment, Guy Jian stood up and asked Guay, Hey friend, what level are you? Guay calmly replied, Asking me level 10. The flat-faced guy whispered into Guy Jian's ear. Guild leader. This is the guy who kicked 3 people away with 1 kick. Guy Jian confirmed. I see this guy is much more formidable than that weak mage. In Guy Jian's heart, he thought, According to intelligence, that kick of his is exactly like the martial artist's swallow return kick. However, that's a skill only usable at level 54. How could it appear at this time? I still need to verify it. Guy Jian said to the 2 guys in front, I'll take on both of you, how about that? Fireball pointed at his face and asked, Fight. I'm only level 1. Level 1. Guay also pointed at Fireball and said, He's protected from PK. After hearing this, Guy Jian chuckled faintly. You even know how to use weaknesses. Guay pointed at his face and said, How about this one-on-one, let's solo? These words made the Defying Heaven Guild members panic. They shouted in unison, Lay! An exclamation. Then they discussed among themselves, So arrogant. Do you know our guild leader is a top-tier player? The guild leader reached level 25 in 1 day. Did a dog eat your brain? Playing like that means you want to die, right? Isn't it because that guy demanded to PK? Guy Jian on this side also agreed. Okay, I agree, I will solo with you. Guay assessed his opponent once over and thought, This person gives me a cold feeling. It seems I need to be more careful. Guy Jian looked at Guay with expectant eyes. Let's see how long he can keep up the act. Then he pointed to the side and said, On the other side of the lake there is an empty lot. PK goes there. Hearing about the lake, remembering the scene of almost being drowned, Fireball trembled and asked, Lake, is the water very deep? I don't want to go. Guay also sweated and asked, Are you traumatized by water? Then Guay and Guy Jian went to the empty lot together and said, This place has enough space very suitable for PK. After hearing this, Guay took out a short sword and said to Guy Jian, Then let's begin. Seeing the cold weapon in Gufei's hand, Guijian startled and thought to himself, "Short sword? This guy is clearly wearing mage clothes." So he deployed his scouting skill. I must be sure what his profession is. Gufei's character information panel appeared. Profession Mage level 10. Equipment, newbie, mage's belt, newbie, mage's bracers, newbie, mage's boots, broken little meat skewering knife. Looking at this mishmash of equipment, Guijian said contemptuously, only knows how to play randomly, truly a newbie. At this moment, Gufei bowed to Guijian in a ceremonial gesture and said, "Please." Seeing this gesture, Guijian replied in surprise, please." On this side, Gufei had adjusted the small knife, holding it firmly in his hand. One look, and you know he's a professional. Gufei quickly rushed towards Guijian, one hand holding the knife, the other in a defensive stance. Watching Gufei's movement, Guijian assessed his speed is really fast. Could it be this mage put all his points into agility? Guhei at this moment controlled Qianli Izui to slash out with his knife. Guijian saw it, immediately dodged to one side, thinking to himself how dangerous. Then this guy slid back quickly, then stopped to maintain distance from Gufei. But Gufei had already rushed forward, swinging his rusty knife in a backhand slash. Guijian did the exact same move, blocking Gufei's knife path. Gufei saw this, and killing intent rose in his eyes. He immediately changed his move, turning the blade forward. Then he thrust at Guijian with the fastest speed, the sword demon. Guijian saw a fast and dangerous strike, not daring to delay. He immediately leaned back to dodge. At the same time, he lifted his leg and kicked Gufei's hand. Then he rolled on the ground a few times and got up in a defensive stance. Guijian thought to himself, his melee ability is truly terrifying. Is this a mage? He's even harder to deal with than a high-level boss. The guys from Defying Heaven Guild witnessed this scene. They asked each other in panic, "Are we mistaken? It looks like the boss is at a disadvantage." The other guy reminded, "We have to trust the boss." Gufei was also assessing his opponent. Truly formidable. Just now I used Tai Sui Lo Wei and Ye Cha. Every move was dangerous, yet he still managed to dodge. Worthy of a top-tier master? Guijian thought to himself at this moment. This guy's melee combat is too terrifying. Can't fight him head-on. I need to create distance, only then will I have a chance to successfully counterattack. However, on this side, Gufei had already unleashed a mage's skill, Fireball. Guijian saw it and was completely dumbfounded. He opened his mouth, wide eyes bulging, and shouted, "Oh my god, I forgot he's a mage. If I create distance, he can also attack from range." On this side, Gufei had thrown the orb towards Guijian and shouted, "Pierce." Seeing Gufei's fireball attacking the flat-faced guy, shouted, "Boss, quickly use that move." Guijian only now remembered his profession. Damn it, I almost forgot. I'm a plagiarism thief, likely a misremembered class name, probably just thief, assassin. Very quickly, Guijian executed his move. Stealth, and his body disappeared into thin air. Then, this guy burst out laughing, "Ha ha, this way. The mage can't play either. Stealth is indeed invisibility. If not actively attacking or hit by others, he won't appear. Playing PK is absolutely advantageous." Guijian thought while stealthed, I was a bit panicked just now. As long as I can use backstab then with the mage's flimsy defense and the level difference, I can definitely insta-kill him. On this side, Fireball asked the guys from Defying Heaven Guild, "Your boss didn't just go invisible and run away, did he?" The flat-faced guy angrily shouted, "You kid, what kind of person is our boss to have to run?" Another guy also angrily shouted, "If you dare to talk big again, you'll really be sleeping with the fishes." On this side, Guijian had chosen a suitable attack direction. He immediately attacked. Then Guijian, holding the short sword in a reverse grip, appeared behind Gufei, preparing to slash down. Guijian shouted loudly, "Backstab." He felt joyful inside and thought almost successful. However, Gufei had turned around, then grabbed Guijian's arm. Guijian saw his arm controlled by Gufei and immediately panicked. How is this possible? But Gufei on this side had already bent Guijian's arm down. The short sword also fell. Gufei extended his other arm, then caught the short sword. Next, he twisted Guijian's arm behind his back to control him. At the same time, he held the short sword to Guijian's chest and threatened, "Don't move around recklessly." The guys from Defying Heaven Guild saw this and immediately widened their eyes in surprise. For a moment, they were speechless. Fireball saw his comrade win, immediately shouted joyfully, "Whoa, ha, we won!" Guijian, seeing himself controlled by someone, proactively admitted defeat. "I lost." Gufei, after hearing this, also let Guijian go. The flat-faced guy on this side, boiling with anger, said loudly, "Damn it, let's all go kill that brat!" However, Guijian shouted, "Stop, don't embarrass yourselves anymore." Then he said to Gufei, "I lost, and I also submit." Seeing the high-quality short sword of Guijian in Gufei's hand, one guy said to Flatface, "But that's top-tier equipment that the guild leader worked hard to get. Are we just going to let that kid take it away?" Guijian at this moment coldly turned and left, saying to his subordinates, "Let's go back." Gufei saw the guy leaving, hurriedly called out, "Wait a minute." Guijian thought the other guy was demanding compensation and asked, "Is there anything else?" Gufei threw the short sword to Guijian and said, "Forgot to take this knife back, here you go." Take this good item that took so much effort to obtain. Guijian then asked Gufei, "Friend, what's your name?" Gufei replied, "Me, Qianli Yizui." Guijian turned around and said, "Qianli Yizui, we will meet again." On this side, after chasing away the strong enemy, Fireball jumped up, spun around, and blew a kiss to Gufei. Whatever. Playful, flirty sound. Gufei saw this and had to curse inwardly. "Damn it," Fireball asked in surprise at this moment. "Just now, Guijian was invisible. How did you detect him behind you?" Gufei flicked his sleeve and said, "I told you, there was killing intent." Fireball asked, in surprise, "So you weren't joking?" Gufei affirmed. "Of course, my sensitivity to killing intent isn't too proficient. The most formidable person is fourth uncle. Just one look at him, and he knows immediately." Fireball asked again, "So you really know martial arts?" Gufei immediately corrected, "Not martial arts, it's kung fu." The other guy retorted, "What's the difference?" Gufei explained, "Martial arts are just for strengthening the body, while kung fu is for defeating enemies." Fireball also looked surprised. "Saving the country, is that still needed in this era?" Gufei replied, "Not at all, that's why I have to go online to play games. What do you think? Do you want to learn kung fu?" Fireball dismissed it. "Forget it, I'm too old. My body can't keep up either. I'll just obediently go level up." Gufei asked again, "So do you want me to take you leveling?" Fireball dismissed it completely. "No need. I came to play, not to be killed by others." Then he waved goodbye. "Brother Tui, level up slowly. Okay? Don't throw people too far." Gufei also waved goodbye to this guy. "All right. If there are monsters you can't beat, remember to call me, I'm off." Time passed. Gufei was still wandering in the forest. He thought to himself, out-leveling monsters is indeed fast. I'm level 16 now, and it's only been 2 hours. These monsters only know how to rush forward and slash. It seems I have to find players to fight to improve my technique. I'll go wash my face first. Saying that, Gufei walked to a lake. He splashed a handful of water on his face and sighed. I really didn't expect it to be this realistic. Using cold water to wash my face feels so refreshing. At this moment, a message from Fireball appeared with this content. "Fireball, Brother Tui, what level are you?" "I'm level 10. If you return to the city, I'll treat you to drinks." Gufei checked his character information for a bit and also learned more about the game. Then he said to himself, "It's time to return to the main city." Suddenly Gufei noticed someone nearby. Isn't that the person from just now? He's killing monsters here, and his method is almost the same as mine. It turned out to be Guijian hunting monsters. This guy's monster hunting cycle is quite simple. Stealth approach, backstab, forced attack, leave, rest a cycle. This kind of method is both fast and safe. It seems Guijian's reputation as a master is not fake. Suddenly, Gufei discovered there was someone else. It seems someone is watching him from over there. It's a girl. I don't know what this girl's purpose is. Following this guy, like that. Change scene inside the main city. Gufei sighed. Finally reached Shaolei Tavern. Fireball must have been waiting for me for a long time. Gufei stepped inside, looked at the surrounding decor, and assessed. This tavern is doing good business. Fireball saw Gufei enter and immediately waved, Brother Tui, I'm here." Come on, sit down, don't be polite," saying that he eagerly pointed to a seat for Gufei. Gufei had just sat down when he recognized someone familiar. Guijian is here too, and he arrived even faster than me," Fireball whispered into Gufei's ear. "He just arrived, but he didn't come looking for trouble with me. He must have been subdued by you," saying that he took out a glass of wine and continued, Come on, let's drink. I don't have much money, so I only ordered the common type, but it's drinkable." Gufei happily replied, "Then let me treat you, you just leveled up. You probably don't have much money, just save up and buy equipment. Fireball said to Guay, well, I saw your name is Qian Li Yizui. 1,000 miles 1, drunkenness, so I assumed you like to drink. That's why I invited you. Guay sweated and reminded, did you forget that someone else named me? Fireball jumped up and replied, damn, I forgot about this. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have called you. Guay picked up the wine glass, took a sip, and said, even the smell of the wine is the same. This game is indeed interesting. At this moment, a pretty pink-haired girl walked in. Where did such a cute person come from? The guys in the tavern saw the girl walk in, and their mouths immediately started watering. Oh, a beautiful girl. Guay's eyes also widened as he looked. He wondered, isn't this the girl who was hiding behind a tree watching Guijian chasing all the way here? Guijian's charm isn't bad. On this side, the pretty girl had sat down next to Guijian and greeted him. The other guys saw this and all looked angry. Why go looking for that little brat? Guijian asked the pink-haired girl in surprise. You are, is there something wrong? The pink-haired girl smiled with squinted eyes and said to Guijian, you dropped money over there. Guijian looked down at his feet and indeed there was a shiny coin on the floor. Fireball on this side exhaled sharply and thought to himself, luckily, there's a reason. Otherwise, if this girl likes Guijian's face, then I would be the first one to object. Guijian at this moment also bent down to pick up the coin. The pink-haired girl had already gone out at some point. She went to the door and waved goodbye. No need to thank me. Goodbye. Guijian also dazedly waved back. Goodbye. Fireball happily said to Guay, so I still have a chance with my intelligence and wit and elegant demeanor. That girl will definitely. But before he finished speaking, he saw Guay stand up. Then he ran straight out. Fireball sweated and called after him, Brother Tui, where are you going? He was inwardly surprised and thought, could it be he's chasing that girl worthy of the Brother Tui? I admire truly strong. Guay had now chased outside. He looked left and right, angrily, thinking to himself, damn it, disappeared in the blink of an eye. Then Guay saw the pink-haired girl just turn into a small alley. He exclaimed, over there. While chasing the girl, Guay thought to himself, that idiot Guijian. Doesn't he notice when he bent down to pick up the coin the short sword was still on the table? This guy had no idea his bone of remembrance short sword was stolen by someone. Guay thought to himself, besides I hate those who use tricks to deceive people the most, because this is his childhood nightmare. With this same trick, a guy had said to Guay, little Fei, your candy fell on the ground. When Guay bent down to pick it up, his fruit plate was stolen. Another time he said, little Fei, look, UFO. Guay looked up, and his bag of snacks was gone. Another time, the old cat saint has appeared. Guay happily turned away, and his toy car was gone. Returning to the present, Guay called after the girl, hey, beautiful lady, in front, stop running. Then Guay said in a gentle voice, hand over the item. The pink-haired girl covered her mouth, giggled, and said, little brother, what are you talking about, really? Seeing the girl had no intention of cooperating, Guay coldly said 4 words, bone of remembrance. The pink-haired girl now became angry and thought to herself, where did this guy come from? I didn't notice him before. So annoying. Then she still deliberately denied it. I say, did you mistake me for someone else? Or are you deliberately bullying a weak girl like me? Guay bluntly replied, stop making excuses. If you don't hand it over, I'll play rough. After saying that, the girl immediately jumped back 2 steps. Guay chased after her and thought, she's so agile. It must be because her profession benefits from agility. This girl is indeed agile, her movements graceful, disappearing after 2 jumps. The girl jumped onto the roof and said, anyway, you can't catch me. I don't want to waste any more time either. Hope to never see you again, little brother. After saying that, she looked extremely smug. Guay on this side became angry and asked back, do you think you can escape? After saying that, Guay threw his hidden weapon. He launched a flying dagger to attack. The pink-haired girl saw a mage playing with flying daggers. Is this guy Li Shunhuan? But she wasn't surprised for long. The pain from her foot had already spread. It turned out her foot had been cut by a flying dagger. The pink-haired girl screamed miserably. How can a person like you not know how to cherish women? Guay only then startled. Oh crap, I hit too hard. Seeing Guay jump up, the pink-haired girl screamed, pervert, don't come over here bullying a weak girl. What kind of hero is that? Go away, Guay thought to himself. Can perception really reach such a realistic level? But he still insisted on getting his item back. Obediently, hand over the short sword to me and nothing will happen. And besides, your HP is constantly decreasing. The girl startled, looked up, and only then saw her health bar depleting. Guay continued to speak. Hand over the bone of remembrance, and I won't make things difficult for you anymore. The pink-haired girl shouted. You're not its owner either. Why should I hand it over? Guay had lost all patience now, because it belongs to my friend. The pink-haired girl asked in surprise. Friend, I don't think so. You two weren't sitting together, you definitely don't know each other. Ah, I understand. No wonder you were peeking in the forest earlier. Peeking at people. Guay panicked and thought to himself, so she discovered me back then too. Could it be a woman's intuition? So we're in the same profession then. In that case, I don't need to be polite with you. Guay angrily roared. Who wants to be in the same profession as you? Who wants to be polite with you? The pink-haired girl suggested again. All right then. After this item is sold, we'll split it. 50-50. You're not at a loss, okay? But don't follow me anymore. Guay fuming said to the girl, I'm not some kind of thieving swindler. I said I have to get the item back for my friend. I'm a good person. A good person. The girl was crying now. Really not in the same profession. So tiring, Guay replied. I'm also very tired. The pink-haired girl suggested again. All right, then you have to take me to a healer first, who asked you to hurt me. Then Guay also had to lean down for the girl to step on. She muttered, Doesn't know how to cherish women? What a useless type, Guay said with disgust. Women are such troublesome creatures. But he was already being crushed by the pink-haired girl's weight, his face darkening. Guay shouted so heavy. The pink-haired girl, furious, shouted, You dare say I'm heavy. Guay hurriedly tried to explain. No, I didn't mean that. Calm down. First, listen to my explanation. You have to look at the character attributes in the game. I'm a mage, even if strength is increased, it's useless. So in the game, stamina is very low. A mage, although he looks strong six-pack abs or something in the game, his stamina will also be very low. By the same logic, no matter how skinny a warrior's body is, his strength must be greater than a mage's. The pink-haired girl bristled again and shouted, Stop talking so much! I'm about to run out of HP. Guay, after hearing this, could only mumble to get through it. The pink-haired girl pointed forward and said, I remember there's a group of healers nearby. She thought to herself, Later I must take advantage of the crowd to escape. If I get caught again, I'll just scream that I'm being harassed. Let's see what he does to me. Guay also had his own plan. Later, I'll find an excuse to take a long detour to make her run out of HP. Let's see if she hands over the equipment. Then Guay turned to ask her pink-haired sister, Is it that crowded place over there? The pink-haired girl replied, It seems that's the right way. Guay took a detour and asked, Is it that corner on the right over there? The pink-haired girl angrily shouted, You're doing it on purpose, right? Just now you clearly wanted to take a detour. Do you want to die? So she hit Guay a few times, bruising his head. Guay thought miserably, I've been discovered. Then he inadvertently looked to the side. Guay announced, Oh, there's a healer over there. Only to see a few people healing each other over there, I also want to be healed. The wounds on my body have really healed. Guay said to the pink-haired girl, We're here, go get healed, wait, now give me the equipment. The pink-haired girl, startled, looked to the side and said, It seems someone is looking for me over there. Guay angrily shouted, Stop changing the subject. Return the item quickly. That trick of yours doesn't work on me. But the guys behind came up and talked to the pink-haired girl. You damn brat, finally found you. Move aside, move aside. Guay pointed at those guys and asked the pink-haired girl, Why are these people aggressively looking for you? Hey you, why are you suddenly getting so close? The pink-haired girl hugged Guay's arm tightly and said in a coquettish voice, Honey, we've been discovered. What should we do now? Guay startled and shouted, Who is your honey? The newcomers heard this and immediately informed each other, Huh? He has a companion. Guay screamed, Don't believe her. Hey. It turned out Guay had been pushed out by the pink-haired girl. Let's go, honey. Guay waved his hand and said to the group, Everyone listen to my explanation first. Don't attack hastily. The other guy angrily shouted, Explain what our equipment is in your hands. Guay saw the short sword in his hand, startled, and shouted, Oh damn, since when was it in my hand? Then he waved his hand and said to those guys, It's not what you all imagine. The pink-haired girl had already slipped away to another place and called back, "Honey, everything here is up to you. See you at the old place later." Guay angrily shouted, "Don't add fuel to the fire." On this side, those guys had already surrounded Guay. They discussed among themselves, "Boss that girl. Ignore her anyway. The item is in this kid's hands." Change scene trading hall. This place is also quite deserted. Inside trading booth number 4, the pink-haired girl was holding the short sword in her hand, thinking, this kind of top-tier equipment is truly priceless. No fear that the rich guys won't buy it. Then she entered a string of numbers on the screen. 50,000, this number will definitely tempt someone. Then suddenly someone selected it, closing the trading portal. Guay spoke up and asked, "What this thing is worth 50,000 coins?" The pink-haired girl startled and asked, "How are you here?" "You," Guay replied. "You're not asking why I know you're here, are you? This is simple. If you make a living in this profession, then you must have a place to trade. I just need to pay a little attention." The pink-haired girl asked in surprise, "Then where are those people?" Guay replied, "Gone." The pink-haired girl asked in surprise again, "How can it be that simple? How did you do it?" Guay replied, "Of course, I returned the equipment to them. Otherwise what? They couldn't beat me anyway." The pink-haired girl said in astonishment, "There were so many of them. Their levels must be higher than yours. How could they not win? So they couldn't do anything to you and just had to take that equipment and leave." Guay confirmed. "That's right." The pink-haired girl looked at Guay with innocent, doe-like eyes and asked, "So you just keep chasing me like this? It's really not for money." Guay replied, "I know you don't believe me, so for my own innocence I brought someone here." Saying that, Guijian appeared. Ghost Sword stared at the pink-haired girl while Guay spoke to her. "Now you can return the item to its original owner." After hearing this, the pink-haired girl also handed the short sword back to Guijian. Guijian said to Guay, "Qianli Izui, do you know how much this thing costs?" Guay replied, "I think it's top-tier equipment, right?" The girl shouted, "Idiot, it's the best of the best. Its attributes are also top-notch, plus 125 agility, 30% increased critical hit, 10% increased level 3, ice skill, 30% increased critical hit." Guijian asked Guay, "Such a hard-to-get item, and you, friend, don't want to take it and use it." The pink-haired girl said contemptuously, "He's an idiot." Guay said firmly, "If it's not mine, I won't touch it. If it's mine, don't even think about touching it." At this moment, Fireball appeared and called out. Brother Tui Guay asked in surprise, "Why are you here?" Fireball turned to greet the pink-haired girl. "Hi, beautiful." After hearing this, the pink-haired girl contemptuously turned away. Fireball pleaded, "Beautiful lady, don't go. I don't even know your name yet." The girl turned back and said, "Shi Xiaotian, what's your name?" Haocho Fireball confidently replied, "Huo Fire, as in Ri Huo, Hot Fire Kyo Ball, as in Chu Chu Ball out." Explaining his name, the name might sound a bit rough, but the person is extremely good. But Shi Xiaotian's gaze was directed towards Guay. Guay pointed at his face and asked, asking me I'm Qianli Izui," and Fireball was heartbroken. The pink-haired girl asked again, "I'm asking for your real name." Guay honestly replied, "Real name, Guay Gu, as in Zhao to look after, Fei as in Fei fan extraordinary." Shi Xiaotian pouted and said, "Violent Fei." Guay roared, "Don't give me random nicknames. You're a swindler." Shi Xiaotian said sulkily, "I'm continuing my career here." Guay screamed, "Hey, you're not planning to go swindle people again, are you?" Fireball on this side was laughing heartily. Ho, already started bickering affectionately. Guay angrily shouted, "Stop talking nonsense, I don't even know her." "Whatever. If I'm done helping, then I'm going to level up." Guijian also left, and said, "I'm also going to level up. If you need help later, just call." Guay checked the game information for a while. Then he went to the notification board. "This time, I have to thank you. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know there's a trading place." On this side, the system message sound tick-tick. Hongchen Yao received Guay's message and replied, "Is it resolved? Do you want to give me the information of that swindler? I'll help you deal with it thoroughly." The notification sound echoed again. "Tick-tick, this one, forget it." Hongchen Yao stroked his chin and thought, "Oh, there's something fishy," so he sent a message to Guay. "Protecting a thief seems like a beautiful woman. Huh? I remind you, friend. With my years of experience, female swindlers, besides being scary, their revenge is also terrifying. Don't just be swayed by their beauty. Guay sweated and replied. This stinky kid, so he quickly changed the subject, then revealed some news about the boss's location or hidden quests. Hongchen Yao replied, You think I never break the rules. No more talking, I have to continue leveling up. Then Guay called his friend Fireball. Just after calling a fireball ignited, Guay angrily put out the fire and said, Damn it, I forgot there's a skill with the same name. Fireball felt hurt and said to Guay brother Tui, Why are you scolding me? Guay also had no way to reply. From now on, I'll call you Little Fire. Fireball suddenly remembered, That's right, brother Tui. You ran out of the tavern too quickly, it made me pay for the drinks. Guay asked back, Really? I'll treat you next time. Huh. You think I want to stiff you? Do I look like that kind of shameless person? Fireball replied. At first, no, but now more and more so. Guay, after hearing this, immediately put his arm around Fireball's shoulder and said, Actually, I don't like bullying others either. It's just that with acquaintances I like to take advantage. Change scene inside the school. Guay clapped his hands and announced to the students, All right, next is free activity time for you all. Those guys obediently listened, yes. Guay waved his hand and called his student, Afa, come here. Afa startled and asked, Huh. The students laughed and talked among themselves. Does everyone feel that teacher Guay has been acting normal lately? He doesn't even mention Kung Fu anymore, but it's also a bit boring, huh? Ha ha ha. Afa said firmly, Teacher, don't listen to their nonsense. I've seen you use Kung Fu with my own eyes. I'm your loyal fan. Guay said sternly. Today, I need to make you understand something. About me playing the game, you must keep it absolutely secret. Understand? Afa stuttered in reply. Understood. Then I'll go play now. Teacher. Afa also wondered to himself, It's really strange, didn't he always boast about knowing Kung Fu before? Now he's hiding it like a cat hiding something precious. After the student left, Guay stood in one place and sighed. He recalled last night he was researching materials about leveling up. He felt he needed to choose monsters for leveling based on 3 points, humanoid melee attack. High-level monster experience is fixed. I have the ability to out-level and kill monsters because I have Kung Fu techniques, but this game attributes are also fixed against monsters. 20 levels higher than myself. I can't break their defense. Come to think of it, my old man also said something similar back then. The old man laughed, Ho ho ho, while Guay angrily said, I don't accept it. Let's go again. I clearly hit you many times like that. In the end, I still lost. I don't accept it. Guay's old man replied, You hit me because I didn't dodge. I didn't dodge, because with that level of damage, it poses no threat to me. You see my hand move. You know I want to attack, but you can't dodge. That's because your body can't react in time with your eyes. You need to find an opponent to train hard with. Remembering his old man's teachings, Guay thought to himself that principle is indeed true. Now, an opponent who is too high level will significantly reduce training effectiveness. It's just that I don't know what level of monsters to fight to be suitable. This game, to me, is not just a game. This place is a paradise for me to utilize my martial arts. Every time I enter the game, I'm endlessly excited. So he put on the rice cooker helmet again and logged into the game. In a flash, Guay was connected by the system to Chenli Yizui. He checked the chat box and saw, Oh, there's a message from when I was offline. It turned out to be a message from Fireball brother Tui. How are you already level 30? Wait for me. Guay thought to himself, yesterday I reached 30, then logged off. I wonder if breaking through level 30 has anything new. Guay checked the information and said, Attribute increase is quite good. But I don't see much change, huh? Then he blankly said, what is this? 10,000, 10,000. Why does going from level 30 to 31 require 10 times the experience of before? Let me ask Hongchen if it's a bug. Damn it. This guy is offline again. Guay looked at the guys next to him. He saw them discussing among themselves and said, It seems I'm not the only one affected. Guay thought again. Whatever. Even if the number of training sessions increases tenfold, leveling up is just to make my own constitution closer to my real-life body. Guay continued to go into the forest. This time he assessed the monsters in the new training area are indeed much more formidable than before. There must be a boss waiting behind. Just thinking about it is extremely exciting. But just as he entered, he saw a monster being ambushed from behind. Guay asked dazedly, Huh, isn't this backstab? Guay turned back and asked, We meet again. Qianli Gufei asked in surprise. Why are you here, friend? Guy Jian replied. Actually, I've been watching you fight monsters for a while. I'm interested in your high monster-killing efficiency. Gufei asked back. Were you peeping? Gui Jian roared. That's not important. Then he pretended to be serious and said, Ahem, your way of fighting monsters seems like you're trying to break through something. Break the limit, and its characteristic is fast, deadly, and precise for leveling up. It's truly very beneficial. Monsters in the game also have weak points, so when you hit the weak points, the damage amount will increase. The monster killing speed will also be much faster. Gufei asked again. Just now. Are you talking about the 9 forms blade technique? At this moment, Guijin Ghost Sword asked back, Huh, that is it? The name of a mage skill. Gufei replied, That's a kung fu move. Guijin asked in surprise. Kung fu, this kid knows kung fu, no wonder his skills are so strong. Over here. Seeing someone ask about his specialty, Gufei happily demonstrated diverging flow. 3 forms, blazing sun. 3 forms, cutting wave. 3 forms. Gui Jian watched this guy brandish his sword and thought, it doesn't look like anything special. Gufei turned and asked, Gui Jian, aren't you also very effective, my friend? I struggle so much to fight monsters. I don't have high efficiency like you, or do you have some other trick? Gui Jian replied, I have something that you don't. At this moment, Gufei's eyes lit up as he thought to himself, is it also a move? Truly a master among masters. But Gui Jian picked up the short blade and said, this short blade has a hidden attribute. That is, its user can be up to 5 levels lower than it. Which also means a level 20 player can only use level 20 weapons. But with Suang Chi Hoi Yuk Frost, Branch of Memory, a level 20 can also wield this level 25 short blade. Gufei picked up his shabby sword and said, well, it seems it's time for me to change to a weapon with better attributes. I'm still using a level 6 common grade short blade. Gui Jian on this side asked in surprise. That's right. Qianli 1,000 miles. Do you know about mercenary groups? Gufei asked back, what's that? I only know about guilds. Gui Jian enlightened Gufei. Let me explain it to you. A guild is an organization much like a large clan. While a mercenary group is a smaller version, they accept mercenary quests and then complete the quests for the hirer. From that, they receive a reward. Guhei now understood. So that's how it is. Gui Jian suggested, so are you interested in joining my mercenary group? Gufei asked back, Is it the mercenary group of the Heaven-Defying Guild? Gui Jian replied, the Heaven-Defying Guild? It's disbanded. Gufei asked in surprise, disbanded why? After hearing this, Gui Jian ran to a corner, sat down sadly, and replied, isn't it because you a level 10 killed a level 20 like me? If the guild leader loses, wouldn't morale be unstable? Gufei, sweating, replied, why do I suddenly feel so guilty? Then I'll join everyone's mercenary group. After hearing this, Gui Jian jumped up and said happily, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Little Lei's Tavern. Gufei was also startled and exclaimed, his expression changed so fast. Scene change, Little Lei's Tavern. Gufei walked in and asked, why is everyone coming to Little Lei's Tavern? Who is Little Lei? The others explained, you don't even know this. The owner of Little Lei's Tavern is a legendary figure in the parallel world. The first person to own property here, he just found various good wines and sells them at original cost. Not only does he not make money, but he also has to pay extra rent to the system. Gufei clicked his tongue. Wow, a modern-day Lei Feng. Little Lei peeked out and smiled. Haha, don't praise me so much, just come and order a drink from me. Gufei asked in surprise. This is Little Lei. He looks so ordinary. I'm looking for someone. Hair like this, styled with gel, all handsome and stuff, and he has a red band on his head. Little Lei replied, 3 room number 3. Gufei went up and found the room with the number 3 and said, this is the place. Gufei approached and asked, is anyone there? Someone inside said, come in, so he pushed the door open. As soon as he looked inside, Gufei froze. Then he thought in a daze, beautiful, so beautiful. The person in front looked Gufei over, then asked with a surprised expression, ah. The young man sitting next to Gui Jian stroked his chin, posed, and asked, is it this guy? Gui Jian reminded, yes, it's him. Hey, don't lean on me like that. You haven't had too much to drink, have you? Gufei looked at the wine cups on the table and thought, oh my God, it's a guy. Gui Jian pushed the young man away and said to Gufei, Qianli, there's a spot over there. Sit down. Let me introduce you to the members of our group. This is Zhan Wushang battle. Unscathed, a warrior. This guy likes to play warriors. He's a warrior in every game and always the #1 warrior. Zhan Wushang friendly greeted back, hello. Guay pointed to another guy and said, this is Yuka friend. Brother. His game profession is very random this time. He's a knight. His specialty is data collection. He's our group's database. Yuka burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, you flatter me. Guay observed. He looks very kind-hearted, seems approachable. Then pointing to a red-haired kid, he said, this is Yu Tian Shenming, Imperial Heaven Deity. His specialty is Mage, but this time he's playing with an archer. Guay looked at this young punk and thought, he's also a miner and a teacher, I need to pay more attention. So he friendly approached and said, hello, but Yu Tian Shenming showed a disdainful expression. Guay was furious and thought, damn it, being looked down upon by this kid again. Guijian pointed to the beautiful girl-like person and introduced. Finally, our team leader, also an old friend of mine, Han Jia Gongzi, young master. Han Jia Gongzi said softly, Guijian, get me another jug of wine. Guijian continued, this guy is always just a priest, just like Zhan Wushang. Hey, don't ask for more drinks, Guay thought to himself. This guy can actually be the team leader. Guijian pointed to Guay and said, introduce yourself to everyone. Qian Li, Guay said friendly. Hello everyone, Qian Li Izui 1,000 miles. One drunk profession is, mage. After hearing this, the guys immediately jumped up. What the heck, this guy is a mage. Although he's wearing a mage's robe, the accessories inside are all a mess. A mage carrying a short blade. Oh my god, he looks so sturdy, yet he's a mage. I knew he was some kind of good-for-nothing. These words were like knives stabbing Guay's heart, making him startle and yelp. Yu Tian Shenming, like a young punk, yelled out, do you know the Ice Fire 2 Extreme's great art? Do you know Ice Demon Counter and Fire Demon Counter where they differ? Do you know Lightning Chain Escape? Are you sure this is a game? At this moment, Zhan Wushang spoke up to mediate. He's a newbie. Don't be so hot-headed. Yu Tian Shenming still yelled, I don't listen, I don't care, I don't give a damn. Yuka changed the subject and asked, Chen Li, is your name written like this? Saying that, he waved his hand and a line of text appeared on the table. Guay confirmed. Yes, that's right. Yusa continued. On the Leveling Efficiency Statistics board, ranked second, Guay asked in surprise, what is that? Hanja Gongzi was silent and said nothing. He just focused on holding his wine cup, and Yuka explained. This is the game's statistical ranking. Mainly experience ranking. Those with high levels will have high experience, and their ranking will be higher. Zhan Wushang is currently the #1 knight on the board. Guijian is the 3rd-ranked thief on the board. Gongzi, young master, is the 4th-ranked priest. Yu Tian Gongjian, show imperial. Heaven Archer is playing for the first time, perhaps still not used to it, so he's ranked 11th. Guay listened to the introductions and then turned to ask, you say, what about you? Yuta scratched his head and replied, I'm the first from the bottom up. Yu Tian Shenming explained, Yuka is because he spends most of his time on this, so he can't get on the experience board. What about you? What level is your mage? Yuta said instead, I've checked the mage board. Chen Li's name isn't there. Yu Tian Shenming said disdainfully, I knew it, high efficiency, but gets nothing. But Guijian said, wait until you guys see Chen Li kill monsters, then you won't say that. Yu Tian Shenming pouted disdainfully and asked, Guay asked in surprise, so who is at the top of the efficiency board? Yuta replied Hongchen Yao. Mortal World 1 smile. Guay exclaimed, it's that person. Guijian asked in surprise, you know that person. What's their profession? Guay replied, met him. Not familiar. I also don't know what that person plays. The others couldn't get any information either, so that's how it is. Guay thought again. That Hongchen person is truly deeply hidden. Hanja Gongzi spoke up, enough nonsense. Our group temporarily has 6 people, in Yunduan City. Not many people know us, let bygones be bygones. Now welcome the new member, Qian Li. At this moment, Guay thought to himself, it sounds like they're not friends, but rather had some conflict before. Hanja Gongzi said seriously. But I have to say, this up front, this mercenary group doesn't need many people, but everyone must be an elite. If we find someone who doesn't meet the requirements, then he glared and said, kick them out immediately. After that, Hanja Gongzi took out a scroll and said, our first mercenary quest is from the player side. It can be said that it's a quest no one has completed yet, but for our elite group, we can give it a try. I'll send each of you a part research the content yourselves. Guay, of course, also received it. Han Jiagongzi added, everyone here is well known as long as we work together. This quest won't be difficult. With this as a foundation, you say go spread the word more. Later on, people will definitely come asking for help. Speaking of this, Han Jiagongzi looked at his wine cup and showed surprise. Guay suddenly asked back, what's wrong? Han Jiagongzi looked at his reflection in the wine cup and praised, so beautiful. Why is there such a handsome man in this world? The others were speechless. Narcissist, ugly beauty, pig-skinned face you guys. Guijian, furious, slapped Han Jiagongzi on the shoulder and yelled, can you talk about serious business for me? D. Seeing this, Han Jiagongzi raised his hand to block and said, everyone look at the quest carefully. If there are any problems, just speak up, I'll explain. Suddenly, Guay spoke up. Wait a moment, Yu Tianxinming asked disdainfully. What's the matter now? Guay said embarrassedly. It's almost 2:30. Yu Tianxinming still asked disdainfully, so what? Guay answered honestly. I have class at 2:30. Yu Tianxinming asked happily. Hey, are you a student? My friend Guay pointed to his face and said, no, I'm a teacher. Hearing the two words teacher, Yu Tianxinming was startled and stuck himself to the wall, yelling, Teacher. Guay thought to himself, it seems this guy often gets disciplined by teachers. After that, he chuckled awkwardly at Guijian's group and said, so embarrassing, I have to go first. I'll come back immediately after teaching. Guijian also confirmed, wait for you. Remember to come here tonight. Han Jiagongzi thought to himself, Qianli Yizui, is he that formidable? Scene change inside the school. Guay watched the students and sighed. That group of people just now was a bit eccentric, but they seemed to be influential figures online. Following them, I might learn many things. At this moment, Afa whispered to Guay teacher, Gu Wenfei. Guay jumped and asked, Afa, when did you appear? Afa replied, it's clear that you were dazed, teacher. You've leveled up? Teacher Guay replied, level 30. Afa exclaimed, wow, so strong lit buffalo vun cow, slang for very strong, amazing. Guay angrily scolded, how dare you talk about a teacher like that? Then he sang a song of morality. As a student, you must study hard. Don't bury your face in games all day like that. Afa interrupted. I know only officials can set fires, but commoners can't light lamps, and also, Guay angrily shouted loudly, is there really no one who wants to learn kung fu from me? After hearing this, all the students stared with wide eyes. At this moment, Guay sighed. Could it be that kung fu really has no place to be used anymore? After hearing this, the kids immediately ran off and shouted loudly, hot news, Teacher Guay is having a kung fu fit again. Scene change, sunset. Guay had also dragged himself into the game. He walked into the tavern. Then Guay waved to greet them all, been waiting long. The guys immediately ran over to interrogate Guay. If you didn't come, we'd really be doomed. It's good that you're here. It's good that you're here. Why did you only arrive now? After hearing this, Guay asked the other guy, Guijian, what's wrong with them? Guijian pointed behind him and said, look for yourself, and you'll know. It turned out the whole thing was because Han Jiagongzi was admiring himself in the mirror. How can there be someone so beautiful in this world? Yu Tajian Wushang and Yu Tianxinming were all holding their heads and crying out in misery. Guijian reminded young master, let's talk about serious business. Otherwise, those guys will end up in a mental hospital. After hearing this, Han Jiagongzi returned to his leader's tone. Ahem, this mission is a wanted order. It's one of the hardest quests I know. I've also helped others do it once. A group of 27 people, by the time they reached the boss, only 7 were left in the end. They all got wiped out. But that was just a group of ordinary players. Although we have few people, it's much easier for us to coordinate. There's only one boss here, bandit leader Zuo 2 or Takuto, depending on romanization, a boss type with high attack speed, low defense, and his lair is very treacherous. So the plan unfolds like this. Zuo 2 is in a room. Qianli will stand outside the door to block Guijian, and Yutian must pay attention to their movements to avoid the boss's skills. When the health drops to a certain level, Zuo 2 will rush out of the room. As soon as he leaves the room, he will definitely summon the Oolong Cave bandits to assist in battle. Even if we had 27 masters like us, we would still be wiped out. So we have to find a way to keep him in the room. At that time, Qian Li will use chained fireballs. A skill with such high damage will definitely be able to hold Zuo too. Gufei pointed to his face and asked, "So my task is to continuously cast skills." Hanjia Gongzi confirmed, "Exactly, isn't it very simple? Let's prepare to set off." Guijian and Zhan Wushang's group agreed. Okay, but just as everything seemed to be arranged, Gufei spoke up. "Wait a bit," Hanjia Gongzi asked in surprise. "What's the problem now?" Gufei stepped out and replied, "I haven't learned chained fireballs yet. I have to go learn it now. I'll be right back." These words made the others stupidly speechless. Yu Tian Shenming said to Guijian, "Guijian, does your big brother have eye problems this time?" But Guijian still said very confidently, "I have great faith in his skills." Yu Tian Shenming retorted, "Trust someone who's already level 30 and doesn't even bother to learn lower-level skills." Guijian angrily retorted, "If you can use a level 10 mage to defeat a level 25 thief like me, then I'll believe you too." These words made Zhan Wushang, Yu Tian Shenming, and Yu Ta all exclaim, "What?" Guijian continued. "Although it's not something glorious, but I have to admit losing is losing. I lost convincingly." Yu Tian Shenming, looking unconvinced, asked again, "Could it be that Guy played dirty, or was it a contest of height?" Guijian immediately yelled, "Get lost," Zhan Wushang commented. "If it's a one-on-one fight among the people here, it's hard for anyone to beat Guijian. He only used one skill, the fireball technique. You'll know when you see him perform, he has reached the limit of manipulation." After hearing this, Yu Tian Shenming still showed an attitude. "Humph," Yu Ka happily exclaimed. "It seems I have to research Qian Li more." Hanjia Gongzi added, "All right, I know Guijian would never exaggerate lit blowout buffaloes and cows, so let's set off, go to Oolong Cave and wait for Qian Li." Guijian heard these words, felt completely relieved, lit cool in his guts, and confirmed, Scene change on the mountain path. Gufei walked while muttering, "He just said he'd wait for me at the cave entrance. Why don't I see anyone now?" Suddenly, someone called out from behind, "My friend, are you from the Young Master Elite Group?" Gufei confirmed. "Yes, that's right." The other guy immediately asked, "Wow, so who are you?" "My friend, Guijian Yu, Zhan Wushang, or Yu Tian Shenming?" Gufei waved his hand and replied, "None of them. I am Qian Li Yi Zui." The other guy asked in surprise, Must be some expert who changed their name, right?" Gufei denied, "No, I'm new." "Wow, this magic staff of yours looks strange, flatter than this shrimp." Seeing the two guys approaching, Hanjia Gongzi praised, "Qian Li, your speed isn't bad. You've already met our client. Come over here for introductions." Then he introduced the two, Yuka Zhan Wushang. The client said politely, "I admire you." Hanjia Gongzi introduced the young punk, Yu Tian Shenming. The client happily exclaimed, "Great God, Yu Tian, it's because of you that I chose a mage this time." Then he turned to the other two and said, "This is Qian Li Yizui and Guijian." That client coldly hummed in acknowledgement, and Hanjia Gongzi introduced himself. "I am their leader, the dazzlingly handsome Hanjia Gongzi." The one who went before was Zigui Purple. Ghost, Hanjia Gongzi. Assigned tasks, everyone has their own task. Before encountering the boss, Qian Li, go hang out with the client. Especially Qian Li, you're forbidden to go kill monsters. Gufei, disheartened, thought to himself, so I came here this time just to be a decoration. Over here, the war generals are ready. Zhan Wushang, Hanjia Gongzi, Yu Tian Shenming, Guijian You Ta, all shouted together, "Okay, let's go." The client suddenly received a system notification. Player Qian Li Yi Tsue has chosen to follow you. The client yelled, "Damn it, he's really just here as a decoration." Then this guy asked Gufei Mage, "What level are you?" "My friend." Gufei replied, 30. The client pointed to Gufei's sword and asked, "Is this a level 30 weapon? It looks pretty good." Gufei friendly handed the sword to the other guy and said, "Take it and see for yourself." The guy looked at the hilt and asked, "There's a broken part here." Then he drew the sword and exclaimed in alarm, "Oh my cat, God, is this a magic staff or a blade?" Looking at the sword in his hand, this guy thought again, "Perhaps there's some reason why the mage of the elite group uses a blade. Maybe I should get one too." Over here, the commander's voice rang out, "Guijian." Go Gufei thought to himself, "It's starting." Inside the cave, two thieves stood guard. Guijian's eyes blazing red started to move. The thief guarding the gate also noticed at this moment, there's an enemy. But Guijin had already appeared and stabbed the other guy in the back with a blade. This is still the backstab move. With a grunt, this thief was stabbed to death. The remaining one swung his sword to slash and yelled, "Damn it!" But Zhan Wushang had already swung his sword up and chuckled, blocking the other guy's sword path. At this moment, it was Yuka's turn to enter the stage. He raised the sword in front of him and cast powerful holy light. Yutian Shenming also joined the battle. He picked up his bow and arrow, ran to find a suitable position. Then he fluently drew his bow, nocked an arrow, and shot a move. Triple arrow. Hanja Gongzi saw it and commented, "It seems everyone is coordinating well." But seeing Guifei playing with the client, he thought, as for that newbie, he doesn't even bother to watch and gain experience. The kids informed each other, 2 more guys have been pulled over there. Must fight quickly and win quickly. Understood, all right. Then let's find a way to deal with these small monsters first, and then figure things out. So Hanja Gongzi leaned on his staff and went deep into Oolong Cave. Over here, the client was sighing. "Ayo, this road is too slippery." Guifei quickly supported him and said, "Be careful, my friend." The client delightedly praised, "Your group even has attendance, so thoughtful." Guifei was sweating profusely. "What the heck?" Suddenly the client pointed towards Guifei and said, "But behind you, my friend, there seems to be someone." At this moment, a thief appeared behind Guifei, his eyes shining brightly, filled with killing intent. Guifei announced, "Run, quickly, let me block for you." But that guy ran faster than a dog in a flash. He sprinted tens of meters. Guifei yelled, "Why are you running like you're flying?" At this moment, the thief had swung his blade straight at Guifei's back, but he missed and hit the air because Guifei had disappeared. Then Guifei's fist appeared, quickly hitting the bandit's face. With a loud thud, the thief was sent flying tens of meters, hitting his head against the wall. The client at this moment was stunned and wondered, am I mistaken? Why is he fighting monsters bare-handed like that? Guifei reminded, "Go meet up with everyone quickly. It's fine without me." The client immediately agreed. "Okay, all right, you have to be careful, my friend." He thought to himself, could this mage be a newbie to the game? A mage should at least use fireballs. Well, I'll just stay away from this place for now. Guifei looked back at his opponent, just a small blue monster easy to deal with. Monsters in the game also have different levels, similar to the equipment grades, white, green, blue, purple, orange. The one in front is a blue monster, 1 level lower than a mini-boss. However, its skills and damage are much stronger than ordinary monsters. My hands have been itching for a long time. You meeting me is also my good luck. Then a scream rang out. Just hearing the sound, it already seems tragic. Could it be that he's been penetrated, defeated, killed? So this guy went over to Hanja Gongzi and said, hey. But Hanja Gongzi said to the other guy, "Boss, just follow that friend behind and play whatever you want. Don't disturb my command." The client said dejectedly, "All right." Time passed. Looking at the monster lying on the ground, Guifei sighed. This monster actually has a health regeneration skill, making me hit it for so long. The monster trembled, reached out its hand and said, "I will not give the secret passage key to you." After hearing this, Guifei took out his sword and poked the monster's head a few times immediately. This one evaporated. Guifei looked at the dropped item and thought, the dropped items are not few. Indeed, there is a key. Let's put it away for now. It might be useful. System announcement. Congratulations to player Qianli Yizui for picking up the secret passage key. Guifei was startled and surprised. If the system says so, then this item really has a use. If it's a secret passage key, it means there's a secret passage around here. Let's try to find it. Guifei picked up the torch and said, "Luckily there's a torch, otherwise it would be tiring to grope around." Then he fumbled his way forward. Without light, it's truly impossible to find a way in this dark place. Then a lock appeared in front of Guifei. He wondered, could this be it? Then Guifei inserted the key into the lock and tried to open it. Suddenly, the door opened. Guifei exclaimed, "It's open there. Really is a secret passage below." Hit the jackpot. Must immediately inform Guijian's group. So he sent a notification system recorded. "To my friend Guijian, I found a secret passage. Does everyone want to come down and see?" The recipient is currently unable to receive messages. Guifei thought foolishly. What could it be that there's a signal problem in the cave? Nonsense, that's impossible. It seems they were afraid of being disturbed, so they turned off the message function. The situation in Oolong Cave is like this. The roots of the team members. Guay went into the secret passage, while Han Jiagongzi's group was slowly fighting monsters and advancing to Zuo Tu's position. Guay went in one breath without encountering any obstacles. He immediately said, "I didn't expect to not encounter any traps or guards this time. This is already the end of the road. It seems this is the entrance to the secret passage. I wonder if a mage like me has enough strength to push it open." Guay tensed his buttock muscles, placed both hands on the stone door, and said, "So heavy, it took all my milk-sucking strength to open it. A mage's strength is truly weak." Guay looked at the things in front of him and observed. There's a small wooden room. The space outside is quite large. Could this be the wooden house of Zuo Tu that the young master mentioned? So he exclaimed, "So lucky, no need to fight monsters, go straight for the boss. Tell those guys they will definitely die of frustration." The young master's plan is very ingenious. Their coordination is impeccable, but that's not what I like. All this time fighting monsters, but no one has piqued my interest. Now I have to see how difficult Zuo Tu is. Then Guay banged on the door loudly. Zuo Tu opened the door quickly. "I know you're inside." Over here, the battle continued. Guijian/quickly Yutian pull that monster over. "Let me finish it off." After speaking, Zhan Wushang struck with his sword. Yutian Shenming was already tired at this point. This guy exclaimed, "I didn't expect the monsters here to all fight in groups." Yuka also sighed. Luckily, no one has died yet. At this moment, Han Jiagongzi used his blood-buffing cave function. Guijian asked the commander, "Young master, is Zuo Tu much stronger than these gate-guarding bosses?" Han Jiagongzi replied in a serious tone, "If we don't coordinate carefully, we'll all be digging our own graves." Then he turned to Guay and said, "There are quite a few small monsters behind Chen Li. Come join the fight too." The client replied, "He just blocked monsters for me. He hasn't arrived yet." The guys, startled, said to each other, "So he's been hiding for the whole session." Han Jiagongzi said angrily, "Okay, we'll deal with this issue when we summarize later." Over here, Zuo Tu had swung his sword at Guay and said, "You arrogant brat, your master. Zuo Tu is here to teach you how to be a man." Guay raised his sword to block and retorted, "So talkative, huh? Give me your head so I can chop it." The swords of Guay and Zuo Tu clashed. Both sides exerted force to push the opponent. Guay's body began to tremble. He thought to himself, Zuo Tu's strength is indeed powerful. I can't resist head-on anymore. He remembered Han Jiagongzi's words again. Must constantly harbor hatred that way. Damage is easier to withstand. Guay replied, "Why resist head-on? Isn't dodging better?" Han Jiagongzi asked back, "Then just dodge and let me see." Guay now jumped east and west, dodging Zuo Tu's attacks. He stood seriously posed and thought, I not only have to dodge, but I also have to use defense as offense. Guay stroked the sword body and then cast Diverging Flow 3 forms. His arm spun the sword like a drill. Then he lunged towards Zuo Tu and thrust. With a keng sound, Guay smoothly slid behind Zuo Tu. He thought to himself, hit him. Guay unconsciously broke out in a cold sweat, but the angle was somehow wrong. How could there be no damage at all? Zuo Tu grinned sinisterly. Scary, huh? My legs have special defense. After hearing this, Guay was immediately stunned. He thought to himself, special defense. Could it be like that NPC just now to get the key? The dialogue is a kind of hint. It seems I can only try once. After speaking, Guay paid attention to Zuo Tu's upper body. Guay concentrated, his spirit raised his sword, then aimed straight at Zuo Tu and shouted, attack. The other guy saw Guay rushing over and sneered disdainfully. Ha ha! Truly doesn't know what's good for him. Then let me kill you, little brat. Ha 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 ha! Saying that, this guy swung his sword and slashed. Guay stroked his sword blade and struck out a move. 4 ounces deflect 1,000 pounds. Then he accurately deflected this Zuo Tu's sword blade into his own body. Zuo Tu clutched the wound on his shoulder and stammered, how is this possible? Guay observed, indeed not wrong, your weak point is in the upper part. I thought you were hard to deal with. It seems it will end quickly. Knowing the weak point attacking is much simpler. But before he finished speaking, Zuo Tu had already turned tail and fled. Guay, furious, yelled, hey, listen to me finish before you run. Okay? Then Guay was startled and remembered another problem. Wait, isn't this what the young master said? Zuo Tu will summon a large number of small soldiers. It's not for real, is it? Saying that, Guay quickly chased after the other guy. Zuo Tu ran outside and immediately whistled, whew, whew, where are my kids? Immediately come in and kill this guy inside for me. Gufei heard it, his mouth agape and eyes wide, and yelled, "It's over this time, my butt is wrecked. One boss plus a bunch of elite monsters, where do I get the strength to kill them all? What to do? But still no kids showed up. Seeing this scene, Gufei started to look dazed. Zuo was falling into despair, but not a single one came to save him. Gufei felt sorry for him, but also didn't care. The uncle is truly pitiful. This guy made a vicious face and then smiled despicably. But I still have to complete the mission. Stick your butt out. Scene change. On the young master's side, Guijian, sweating, said to his companions, "How come there were so many monsters just now? Almost died." Yuka sighed. "If it weren't for everyone's good coordination, I think the whole army would have been wiped out this time." The young master now had a sky full of questions. Strange this time is different from last time. Last time there were, at most, only 4 groups of monsters. Guijian also wondered, could Chenli also have encountered so many monsters? Yutian Shenming angrily yelled, "Mentioning that name makes me annoyed again," and Yuka took out the map and announced, "It seems we're about to encounter the final boss." The young master spoke, "One corridor leads to Zuo2's place, but there's an ambush on the way. Everyone be careful." Suddenly, a piercing scream was heard. "Ow, ow, ow!" It was clearly a human voice, but it sounded like a dog's yelp. This startled all of them. The young master, in his role as leader, reminded everyone, "There's a problem on Zuo2's side. Everyone run over immediately. Be prepared for anything." The tragic scream rang out again. Ugh, 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 ugh. This is the sound of Zuo2 being penetrated, beaten to death. The wooden chests in the corner of the wall were compressed out. Having to use objects to attack shows how desperate the opponent was. However, responding to that despair was Gufei's cold kick. He kicked the wooden barrel to pieces. Zuo2 clutched his wound, leaned his sword on the ground, and said, "Damn it, to think you could push me to this state." Gufei held the sword upside down and said, "It seems you're about to die too. What does the quest say?" Then he took out the quest scroll, then began to open it and read. Quest requirement: Zuo2's head. After reading, Gufei's face darkened. "Do I really have to chop it? So bloody. How can an ordinary person dare to chop it?" Zuo2, terrified, yelled, "What do you want to do?" Gufei coldly declared, "But I don't think there will be blood spurting everywhere. Surrender your life," saying that he swung his sword and chopped once. A pop sound was heard, and only a cloth bag appeared inside. There was also a roundish, longish, oval-shaped object. Gufei yelled, "Zuo2's head, the system even packed it, how nice." At this moment he carried the head in one hand and rummaged through items with the other, then sighed. "Zuo2 is so poor, no equipment dropped at all. Only a few gold coins. I'll take them back and distribute them to everyone. Let's go into his room and see if there are any chests." Suddenly, a human voice came from behind the door. Who are you?" Gufei jumped up in surprise. "Ah, damn it," startled me completely. The voice inside continued to speak. "Are you willing to help me?" Gufei thought to himself, "According to the game's distribution, this NPC has a quest for me. It's okay to go see." So Gufei poked his head inside to check. A young man appeared in front of Gufei. This guy asked Gufei, "Brave warrior, did you defeat Zuo2?" Gufei thought to himself. "There was someone in the corner. I was too engrossed in the fight earlier, so I didn't notice." The other guy started rambling. "I was originally a resident of the village. I came to this mountain to find my uncle, who knew that on the way I was ambushed by a group of thieves. Now, I only have a little breath left." He rambled on for a while before continuing. "Take my insignia and go find that person. Thank you." Gufei basically didn't bother to listen. A quest notification appeared on the screen. "Do you accept, yes or no?" Gufei chose the yes option, thus accepting the quest. In front was an insignia system notification, SD insignia, all attributes, pluck 6 points. Gufei saw it and was too bored to speak. These attributes are like cat crap. But anyway, it's still gold-colored equipment. Gufei took the insignia. Immediately, a notification popped up. Quest SD insignia. Gufei thought to himself, a first-round quest, having such high-quality equipment already. It seems very promising. Let's ask SD and see. But Gufei saw this guy had already stuck out his tongue and died. Lit his garlic bulb was sticking up. He yelled, "Damn it." He died as soon as he finished speaking. It seems I have to go online and search again. While thinking, Gufei went to check the chests. At this moment, several figures rushed over and said, "Zhan Wushang, Go pull the boss. I'll help Guijian deal with the small monsters. I'll give you some damage reduction buffs. You guys just go all out. Remember to heal. At this moment, a monster was already down. This guy was covered in iron armor. Even if he stood up now, he probably couldn't. The young master announced to everyone, if we don't finish my magic, points will also run out. Guijian observed. Passing through this stone door is Zuotu's place, right? The post said the mechanism is on the wall. So Guijian went fumbling on the wall. Guijian's hand touched the mechanism. He happily exclaimed, "Found it." The stone door on this side automatically opened. Rumble, rumble, rumble. But when Guijian's group and Zhan Wushang went in, they didn't see anyone. Gufei tucked the head under his arm and sighed. Zuotu is dirt, poor as a cat, yet he still pretends to be a bandit. Guijian also happened to see Gufei step out. Gufei saw his companions approaching and asked in surprise, Everyone finally arrived. Then, Gufei threw the pouch to the client and said, "Boss, the goods are here." The other guy caught the pouch and suddenly shouted a quest item. Gufei explained to the others, "I found a secret passage earlier. It's a straight path right through here. Later after killing Tak. Do I pick this up? Besides, that guy's defense isn't that high." After hearing this, Yuka exclaimed in admiration, "You killed Tak-do by yourself? Royal God, Call was still salty. I don't freaking believe it." Young Master looked at Tak-do's corpse below and thought, "Last time when I was here, Tak-do was wearing armor, wasn't he? How come he doesn't have it this time? Could it be because miles a minute went into the secret passage alone, which lowered the boss's difficulty?" Unwearied in battle, happily said to the group, "So there's a secret passage. It'll be much more convenient to grind here next time." Yuka remarked, "I'd like to go in for a guide, too," but the immature brat Royal God Call was still skeptical. "I still don't believe it." Gufei shared his experience with the group. Tak-do's upper body has no armor, so I accidentally attacked his upper part and found that the damage wasn't reduced. That means his upper body defense is roughly close to zero. So I just kept attacking the part where he had no gear, and it was very effective. "So, where's the entrance to the secret passage?" Gufei pointed to the side. "Over there." Then the whole group looked at the two large heavy doors in the direction Gufei pointed. He said to the group, "After it closed, I couldn't open it." Unwearied in battle, said cheerfully, "Let me open it." Yusei also joined in. "I'll help too." So the two strong guys of the team stepped forward, placing their 4 hands on the door. Ready, 3, 2, 1 push. A loud creaking sound echoed, hurting their ears. Unwearied in battle observed, "There really is a path here." Yuka reminded them, "Everyone be careful, it's too dark inside." Gufei opened the hatch and said to the group, "Its exit is here. It's the first door we broke through earlier. Inside, the Black Dragon Cave." The group happily said to each other, "The secret passage is so fast we reach the door in a blink, miles a minute. You're such a beast." Young Master said to the group, "All right, this mission has been successfully completed." Yuka scratched his head and gave a wry smile. "Ha. It was indeed a successful completion." Unwearied in battle covered his mouth and coughed while Royal God Call was too embarrassed to say anything. The client grinned widely and laughed. Ha, were you all fainting in the east and attacking in the west? As expected of experts, you have a strategy for everything. Gufei was stunned and asked Straw Strategy what. The client pretended to analyze. "You guys said Tak-do would summon minions for support, so you let Brother Miles a minute go over there to solo the boss, while the others were in charge of taking care of the minions, and you even pretended to be mysterious, acting like you didn't know about the secret passage. Don't worry, I won't reveal this strategy of yours, because there aren't many people who can solo a boss like Brother Miles a minute." Gufei whispered to Young Master, "Hey, what is this guy babbling about?" Young Master pretended to cough and then asked, "Did Tak-do drop anything good?" Gufei took out the money pouch and announced, "Only 2 money pouches. Tak-do is dirt poor." Young Master waved his hand dismissively and said to the group, "Let's go. Let's go back and split the money." Gufei asked in surprise, "Why is everyone so down?" The client called after them, "Brother Miles, a minute. Please sign your name first." Scene change. Night falls at Little Lay's tavern. The guy said to the tavern owner, "Little Lay, get us a glass of wine." 2 glasses, 2 glasses. On the table, Young Master had poured all the money out. He asked for their opinion. "All the money is here. How do you guys think we should split it?" Well, Gufei thought to himself at this moment, aren't we supposed to split it evenly, or do experts have their own rules? Ghostblade thought to himself. He discovered the secret passage and killed Takdu all by himself. While the five of us only dealt with a bunch of small monsters, could it be that everyone really can't bear to part with this pile of money? Yuka then said something completely nonchalant. Otherwise, let's just split it evenly. The other three stared wide-eyed and thought, this guy is so damn thick-skinned and shameless. Young Master found it reasonable, so he agreed. All right, let's decide on that then. Miles a Minute did more work this time, so give him a little extra. After saying that he tossed a money pouch to Guay cheered happily. Is that so? Ha ha ha. Then I won't be polite. He took the money, stood up, and said, now that I have the money, I'm out of here. You guys take your time chatting. Seeing Guay about to leave, the others asked, where are you going, dude? Guay replied, logging off, of course I have to teach tomorrow morning, that's it. Bye, everyone. At this moment, Unwearied in Battle and Royal Godcall ran over, nudged UK's shoulder, and gave him a backhanded compliment. You're something else, kid. UK, how could you say that? Split it evenly line, don't you feel embarrassed at all? Yusa started to analyze. Actually, I think what our client said makes a lot of sense. If we hadn't killed all the small monsters, then when Takdu summoned them, I'm afraid Miles a Minute would have. 2 or 3 monsters were enough to tire us out, let alone Miles a Minute, who was all by himself. Ghostblade also didn't know what to say. Young Master then said something completely nonchalant. Besides Miles a Minute, who would dare to solo Takdu? After hearing this, the entire room fell silent. No one dared to utter a single word. Unwearied in Battle remarked, let's not even talk about the upper body defense being 0. Even if his entire body's defense was 0, it would still be very difficult. Young Master brought up another point. Besides, this is a fully immersive game. In traditional games, the field of view is very wide. But this immersive type simulates a realistic field of view, which means it's very limited, relying entirely on sense and sound. In this immersive system, if someone launches a sneak attack, very few can dodge it, let alone someone like Takdu, whose overall stats are much higher than ours. So the things Miles a Minute can do in the game, he could probably do in real life too. Yuka also remarked, it seems that to truly understand Miles a Minute, we'll have to fight him to find out. Unwearied in Battle agreed. I'd like to try it out too. Royal Godcall finally spoke up. Although I don't want to say this, Miles a Minute is truly unlike other teachers. Young Master announced the dismissal. Then everyone should get some rest. See you tomorrow. I'm logging off too. This is Ngoch Huang reviewing the story. Scene change, time passes. Guay strolled leisurely down the street. He mumbled, a few days ago, Fireball invited me to join his guild. I wonder how it is now. Then he checked the screen. Huh, not online. Well, I'll invite him for a drink next time then. But just as he took a step, Guay bumped into someone. Both of them cried out, ouch! And a female voice was heard. So sorry. I was busy looking at my screen just now and wasn't paying attention. Guay thought to himself, if this were reality, I would never have been bumped into. A mage's body is just too weak. But when he looked up, he saw an acquaintance of his here. It was the pink-haired girl, Shi Xiaotian Humph, a scammer. Shi Xiaotian retorted, hey, you bumped into me and dare to call me that. You should call me a beauty. Guay asked in surprise, how did you end up here? Shi Xiaotian put a finger to her lips and said, shh, follow me quickly. Guay asked blankly, what are you up to now? Then Shi Xiaotian pulled Guay into a corner and said, help me block the view for a bit. Guay asked in surprise, do you have enemies after you again? Shi Xiaotian requested, help me see if there's a young girl looking for someone. Guay glanced over, saw a cute girl in a school uniform, and confirmed, yes, there is one. Guay thought to himself, she's both a thief and a scammer. Then he cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted, hey, the person you're looking for is over here. Shi Xiaotian jumped and cursed, you bastard. The girl cheered happily, Sister Xiaotian, I finally found you. Hearing the girl call her so intimately, Guay thought, Sister Xiaotian, could I have guessed wrong? Shi Xiaotian waved her hand and said to the little girl, meow meow, I really can't help you. You guys should find someone else. The girl named Meow. Meow pleaded, we came to you because we couldn't find enough people. We're only missing. You please help us. Guay exclaimed in surprise, whoa, hey, just help her already, she's crying. Shi Xiaotian retorted, shut up, you troublemaker. Guay waved his hand and replied, okay. My part is done. Then I'm leaving. Bye. At this moment, Shi Xiaotian's brain started working, and a grand idea popped into her head. So she shouted at Gufei, "Violent Fei, stop." Gufei stopped and asked, "Do you have any other orders?" My lady Shi Xiaotian replied, "He, you can actually help with this." Gufei said seriously, "As long as it's not something against heaven and reason, I can help with anything." Shi Xiaotian grinned widely. "What could be against heaven and reason? You're so funny. Ha 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 ha. Their guild is one person short of being founded. Go help them out. It's that simple." However, Gufei declared nonchalantly, "I refuse," Shi Xiaotian asked in shock. "Why?" Gufei replied, "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid that you can trick me? A guild only needs 20 people to be formed. In this game, are there not enough 20 people to form a guild?" Shi Xiaotian pointed at Miao Miao and said, "If you don't believe me, ask Miao Miao, is the guild still one person short?" Miao Miao confirmed, "We are indeed one person short." Shi Xiaotian caressed Miao Miao's cheek and replied, "Don't worry, Miao Miao. I'll help you." Miao Miao seemed hesitant, but he doesn't seem to want to help us. Shi Xiaotian pointed at Gufei and said, "This guy, actually he's already agreed to help everyone." Gufei scratched his head and replied, For this little sister's sake, I'll help you guys out then." He thought to himself, "It's just joining one more guild anyway." Shi Xiaotian laughed happily at this moment. "Thank you so much, Brother Miles." A minute Gufei flinched and said, "Don't call me brother. I don't know you." Scene change. Gufei arrived at the guild area. "This place is quite fancy," Gufei exclaimed. "Wow, the guild halls of the major guilds are so big." Shouts of recruitment were heard everywhere. "For Comrades Guild, we help with all quests. Come and support us." Another side was not to be outdone. Warriors Home, a level 30 warrior guild master. "Any warriors, hurry and come here." And so the two sides started fighting chaotically. "How dare you steal my people? You're the one stealing from me." Gufei thought to himself, "It seems there are quite a few people recruiting for guilds." Gufei opened the notice board. The scammer must have meant this guild. After saying that, he touched the notice board. An announcement sound rang out. "Congratulations, player, for responding to the guild invitation. The Rebirth Purple Crystal Guild has been established." At this moment, an announcement appeared. "The guild has been established. This is worth celebrating." Who is that 20th person? Gufei thought to himself, "Wow, what a chaotic guild name. I'll just close it." "Let's check the roster, huh?" Gufei's face went blank. Looking at the guild information panel, 20 people. Checking the list, he found that 19 of them were female. The last one, him, was the only male in the guild. Then he remembered what that female thief said. Joining this guild guarantees great benefits. He painfully realized, "Damn it, I've been tricked." Gufei broke out in a cold sweat and thought, "The other 19 members of the guild are all female. My life is guaranteed to be miserable from now on." Gufei was startled to see a pile of friend request notifications, and there are more friend requests. Gufei was startled when he saw a message in the guild chat. "Humph." The notice board displayed this 7th moon. "Who is that 7th moon? Why did you run into my guild? 7th moon. Wait at the guild entrance. We're coming right now." Seeing this sentence, Gufei immediately broke out in a cold sweat. "I have a bad feeling about this. Oh God. The future looks tough." Time passed. At this moment, a few more beautiful girls appeared. Gufei thought to himself, "Looks like it's them. It's too late to run." At this moment, Miao Miao pointed at Gufei and said, "It's him." The people outside exclaimed, "What are so many pretty girls doing here? So many beauties, oh my God. They're looking for that guy. He must owe them a lot of money." The leading girl asked Gufei, "Are you Miles a minute?" Gufei sweated and confirmed, "That's me." The sweet-voiced girl introduced herself. "I am the guild master of Rebirth Purple Crystal. My name is 7th Moon." Gufei thought to himself, "I didn't expect the guild master to be a fighter. There aren't many females who choose to be fighters." Gufei greeted them cheerfully. "Hello, what's the matter?" 7th Moon asked with a serious tone. "Tell me what's going on. Why did you join our guild?" Gufei pulled Miao Miao forward and said, "This. Why don't you ask this little sister? She'll make it clear. Tell everyone everything from the beginning." Miao Miao confessed earnestly. Sister Xiaotian said she had already agreed to join someone else's guild, so she couldn't come to Rebirth Purple Crystal. So she said her friend would help us find enough people, so the person she said would help find someone must be you, Gufei asked again. So you guys thought I would find people for you, right? But Zhao Tian told me that I had to come and help you myself. So in fact, that scammer has tricked all of us. Seventh Moon, fuming with anger, said Zhao Tian is really a damn brat. A sponsored guild doesn't get checked. That's why we have requirements for our members. It's normally temporarily closed. We only open it when someone meets the requirements. I can't believe it. Guay also understood. So that's how it is, Seventh Moon said angrily. Why didn't Xiao Tian want to join our guild? Another girl consoled her. Seventh Moon, don't be angry anymore. Why would Sister Xiao Tian do this to her own people? Guay thought to himself. So they're acquaintances with the scammer. Well, I'll just leave them to it. Maybe I should log off now. Just let them sort it out themselves. After talking to her sisters, Seventh Moon turned to Guay. Oh hey Miles, a minute. But before she could finish, Guay had already slipped away. Seventh Moon thought angrily, where did he go? He ran off before I finished talking so rude. Meanwhile, Guay was out in the yard practicing his skills. He was panting heavily. Then this guy started performing his kung fu. Next, he recalled the previous battle with Takdo. Guay charged forward quickly, then his hands continuously slashed through the air. Guay looked at his hand and thought, my internal energy is getting deeper. It seems my recent training has been effective. But when he looked again and saw a torn shirt, he was startled and cried out, oh no, I tore the old man's shirt. Scene changed some time later. Guay logged into the game. He thought to himself, I have to train hard today, find some elite monsters to practice on. Suddenly a system notification sound was heard. You have many new messages. Guay opened the message box and was immediately greeted by messages from Seventh Moon. Where are you? 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 Guay broke out in a cold sweat and thought, she used where are you 7 times. It seems Seventh Moon really likes the number 7. Guay looked at the notification and mumbled, Xiaoluo Street. It must be the street on the other side of the residential area. This must be the meeting point. So he knew the meeting point. There are many empty rooms in the game. The system only uses a very small part. The rest are for players to use, used for living, gathering, opening various shops, just like Little Lay's Tavern. Guay thought to himself, this street is really quiet. Many houses are unoccupied. Then he stopped in front of a room and said B17, this must be the place. After that, this guy also went inside. He announced to the people inside, I am Miles, a minute Seventh Moon called me here. A service NPC walked out and said to Guay, please come in. Seeing Guay walk in, the sisters started gossiping. He's here wearing newbie gear too. A newbie mage, is he a new player? But he's level 30. I wonder how he trained. Let's secretly inspect his equipment. He won't know anyway. Shh, you guys keep it down. Guay looked over and thought, so many girls, it's a bit embarrassing. Seventh Moon said to Guay, Miles, a minute, find a place to sit. Guay asked directly, Guildmaster Seventh Moon, is there something you wanted to talk to me about? After hearing this, Seventh Moon coughed lightly. Ahem. About this guild founding matter, I'm actually very grateful for your help. But as you know, our place has rules for recruitment and a situation like this. Guay thought to himself, so she wants to kick me out. Even better, I still prefer to go solo. He immediately took out the notification and asked, I understand. In that case, I'll just leave the guild myself. So I can just leave the guild, right? However, all the sisters shouted in unison, no. Guay asked blankly. Again, what's wrong now? At this moment, a short-haired girl shouted, hey, what are you doing? Don't move around recklessly. If you're not careful, I'll hit you. Guay looked at this girl and thought, another female fighter, is this a wild and crazy guild? The girl shouted, what are you doing staring at me like that? Guay quickly denied it, I wasn't. The girl yelled, whoa, a pervert. Guay was at a loss for words. Definitely not. Seventh Moon called out to her companion, lie. He just said he wanted to leave. At this moment, Guay had a million questions. Guildmaster Seventh Moon, I don't quite understand either. What did you mean just now when you said I couldn't leave the guild? Seventh Moon explained. That is what I meant, but not right now. Guay's face went blank again. Seventh Moon yelled, are you not understanding or just pretending not to understand? If you leave, this guild won't have 20 members and will be disbanded immediately. Guay's mind was finally cleared. So that's how it is. I get it now. So when you have enough people, the guild master can just kick me out of the guild. I have an appointment, I'm leaving now. Guay walked over to Li Li and asked, "You're Lai Lai, right? Your name suits you," Li Lai asked blankly. "Huh," Guay explained. "I really admire people with a profession and body like yours. You're quite good." Li Li was startled and asked, "Huh, what did you mean just now when you said my name suits me? Are you trying to imply something? Take this." But when Li Li threw a punch Guay had already dodged to the side, he exclaimed, "Your personality is really fiery as expected. Goodbye." Seeing Guay walk out, Li Li was startled and shouted, "Hey!" Seventh Moon stepped in to mediate. "Lai Lai, he just said, your name matches your personality. He didn't mean any harm. Also, don't just attack people at the slightest provocation. This fighter profession can easily injure people." Lai asked blankly. "He dodged it." Seventh Moon said calmly, "It's normal for him to dodge it. You weren't really trying to hit him." Lai explained, "But I even used a skill, and it was a sudden move. The others were stunned." Lai, how could you use a skill? Seventh Moon then remembered something. If you really used a skill. The blonde girl explained. Although Lai is only level 26, the fighter class is geared towards PK. Plus, many expert players from older games haven't adapted to this game yet, so quite a few higher-level players have been defeated by Lai. Even a group of level 30s might not be able to dodge a fighter's attack unless Seventh Moon asked again. "Unless what?" The other girl explained. "Unless he also understands the fighter class or has trained in it." Lai shouted, If he knew, why didn't he choose to be a fighter? Even a thief or warrior would be fine, but he chose to be a mage." The other girl judged, "Maybe he's actually playing the game for fun, not like you who comes in here to fight people." Lai retorted, "What, you dare to defend an outsider? Take this." The girl said again, "If he's already a member of ours, we should also give him the guild emblem. I forgot just now. Let me go over and give it to him." Seventh Moon asked again, "Luolo, don't tell me you're crushing on him." Luolo retorted, "Of course not. Of course not." At this moment, Guay suddenly shivered and sneezed. "Could I really be sick?" Meanwhile, Luolo exclaimed, "After all, he's a member of our guild. We can't have some with and some without. In short, everyone must have an emblem. Also, we have to bring it for any major activities in the future. Otherwise, how would we recognize our own people?" Seventh Moon pushed Luolo and said, All right, big sister. In short, it's just an excuse for you to go chase boys, right? Hurry up and go." Luolo retorted, "I clearly have a reason." "Then I'm off," Seventh Moon reminded her. "Leave early and come back early." Watching Luolo's retreating figure, Seventh Moon thought to herself, "I hope this miles a minute can get along with everyone." At this moment, Si Xiaotian was waiting at the door and said, "So you're all here. How's the person I introduced?" Here, Seventh Moon caught it and asked, "What is this?" Seventh Moon checked and saw Wind's Eye Ring, agility +18, strength +20. Seventh Moon commented, "Increases both strength and agility. Any melee class wouldn't pass this up." After speaking, Seventh Moon threw the ring straight back to Shi Xiaotian. Shi Xiaotian was now filled with a sky full of questions. "What's wrong? You don't want it." Seventh Moon said nothing, just glanced at Shi Xiaotian. Shi Xiaotian cut her off. "No need to say it, I understand. Comparing me with anyone else, I'll never be able to join. So this is the reason I have to leave." Seventh Moon said to Shi Xiaotian, "We are friends, but this guild is not for my benefit alone, so..." Shi Xiaotian said happily, "This is what I like about you. That's why I ran. I didn't want to get you guys involved." Seventh Moon retorted, "Then don't run like that. Right, how did you get to know that miles a minute guy? Did you also scam him before?" Shi Xiaotian chuckled evasively. "Of course not." Hehehe. Seventh Moon thought to herself, "Definitely." Shi Xiaotian said firmly at this moment, he's someone I can never scam. We scammers exploit people's greed. No matter how intelligent they are, as long as they have distracting thoughts, we can scam them. Seventh Moon exclaimed, so that miles a minute guy managed to avoid it. Shi Xiaotian confirmed, yes, he is a good person. His mind is free of distracting thoughts. Scene change. The square's fountain. Fleeting Smile wondered, "Hey, why did you suddenly ask me to meet here today?" Guay replied, "You're a GM, right? Game Master. To explain a bit, GM is Game Master, the person responsible for the game. I have a few questions to ask. But I've been searching and can't find any clues. I've checked online and found nothing." Fleeting Smile took a sip of water and mumbled, Guay had already taken out the medal and said, "It's this Eddie's medal." As soon as he saw this medal, Fleeting Smile spat all the water in his mouth onto Guay's face, pfft, then shouted at Guay, "How did you get that?" Guay asked with a surprised look, "What are you so worked up about?" Guay patiently explained to Fleeting Smile, "The process was like this. That's how it all happened. This thing has been giving me a headache for days." Fleeting Smile replied, "If that's the case. This is a quest," Guay yelled. "Of course it's a quest. What else could it be?" Fleeting Smile explained to this guy, "It's not a regular quest, it's a special chain quest." Guay now vaguely understood a chain quest. Fleeting Smile explained, "A normal quest is just point to point, simple to accept and complete. But this one is a chain of continuous quests linked together. Parallel World usually has few chain quests like this. The amount of points it gives is quite large. A whole chain quest usually requires running back and forth dozens of times. Moreover, the conditions to complete it are numerous. It can fail at any time. It could be because your level is not high enough or something else. The content inside ranges from easy to difficult, either delivering messages or fighting super bosses. Eddie's medal is the easy stage, but if you want to save Eddie, the conditions are quite difficult. In short, not everyone can get this type of quest. Even if you see Eddie's body, you still can't accept the quest." After hearing this, Guay was startled and asked Fleeting Smile, "It can be like that." Fleeting Smile continued to explain, "This quest requires 2 conditions to trigger it. First is to kill Tak Do, so Eddie feels safe. Second is to make Tak Do feel safe." Guay asked in surprise, "Is it that complicated?" Fleeting Smile added, "He will underestimate his enemy at first, so he won't kill Eddie too soon. Therefore, going alone to kill Tak Do is the only way to unlock the quest." Guay thought to himself, "It seems if I had gone with Young Master's group back then, I definitely wouldn't have gotten this quest." Fleeting Smile thought to himself, "Although the conditions are so harsh, I didn't expect someone at such a low level could actually complete it." Guay exclaimed, "I must have good luck." Fleeting Smile thought again, "It's not just that simple, as good luck right now. Besides this guy, who else dares to solo a boss?" Guay then waved his hand in front of Fleeting Smile and asked, Hey, what are you spacing out for? So do you guys have a guide for this hidden quest? If not, how can I continue?" Fleeting Smile yelled, "Of course not. Hidden quests depend on the player's luck. Whether you can complete it well depends on your character." Guay pleaded, "Just reveal a little bit." Fleeting Smile jumped up. "No way, I'm an employee of this game." Guay replied dejectedly, "How boring. Then I'll go figure it out on my own." Bye-bye. Fleeting Smile replied cheerfully, "Yeah, okay." But he had another idea. I should still follow this guy to see what happens. Meanwhile, Guay had gone monster hunting. He swung his sword. At the same time, he jumped high, slashing out with his sword. Then he continuously slashed the opponent 3 or 4 times. Swish, swish, swish. All of them hit vital spots. Fleeting Smile, hiding in the bushes, thought to himself, with such speed, he must have put all his points into speed. He has strength too, but that's probably from Eddie's medal. As for his attack, all his attacks hit weak points. Right now, he's wearing a full set of trash equipment, but his attack power is the highest. He's truly a pervert. Looks like I'll have to go check it out once. Then this guy turned and left. After finishing off those guys, Guay dusted off his hands and mumbled, "I wonder why he was secretly following me." Scene changed the operations room. Xiaowu pushed the door open, walked in and said loudly, "Help me, look up a person." All the employees here were startled. One of them asked, Chief, yeah, did you find a bug that needs fixing? It scared the daylights out of me." Xiaowu informed the staff player ID miles a minute check the data of this account. After hearing this, a guy with glasses was startled and asked, "Check a player." A guy without glasses reminded him, "Chief, yeah, this isn't quite according to the rules." Another guy added, "Player data is supposed to be confidential." Xiaowu reminded them, "This guy is strange, look him up." So the group obediently followed his orders. So that's how it is. The information panel appeared. Name miles a minute. Constitution 21. Strength 16. Agility 36. Guay was still fighting valiantly, taking on 3 or 4 guys by himself, and every slash hit a vital point. The guy with glasses said to Guay, "The data is all very normal. Moreover, we didn't detect any hacking software." At this moment, a guy pointed at the screen and said, "But look, This guy's damage is always a critical hit. Are you sure he's not using a hack? The guy with glasses confirmed. Affirmative. Xiaowu thought to himself, the tracked data must be correct. It seems this guy has real skills. It's too hard to believe. The other guy added, attacking different points will result in different damage values. Isn't this the proposal that Chief Ye suggested? How did you discover this guy? Ye Xiaowu replied. I heard about him, so I came to check if there was any problem. The others replied, no problem at all. But the game has only been open for a short time. It's hard to imagine that someone like this has already appeared. If this account has a problem, we will definitely report it too. Chief Ye first, Ye Xiaowu sweated and agreed. Good, that's good. After speaking, Ye Xiaowu pushed the door and walked out. He thought to himself, Miles, a minute, I wonder if he's a disruptor of parallel world. Scene change in another place. Guay was surprised to see a notification. Fireball sent a message. Fireball's message said, Brother Tui, if you're free today, come hang out at Little Lay's Tavern. My treat. Guay wiped his sweat and thought to himself, good timing, today's training is also done. I got so much loot today, but my system bag is full. A mage's body can't handle that much weight. Then, he took out another bag and said, good thing I brought an extra bag. Back to the city to make some money. After saying that, he carried the big heavy bag and ran off. But he hadn't run more than a few steps. Guay's legs were shaking uncontrollably. Guay sighed. Looks like I overestimated this body. Seeing Guay sitting on the ground, the others wondered, is this an NPC pretending to be in trouble? Another one asked, could this guy be a hidden quest? NPC. At this moment, while Guay was dazed, a figure appeared in front of him. He grunted. A girl in full armor said to Guay, give me the quest, let me help. Guay was startled, But before he could react, the armored girl had already snatched Guay's bag. Then she ran off. Guay called after her, hey, listen, don't be in such a hurry, I'm not. Guay tried to call after her, warrior. I'm not an NPC. The guys next to him burst out laughing, ha 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 ha. Are you doing that on purpose? Ha ha ha. The news said that NPCs are very likely to have hidden quests. You're carrying such a big bag. It's normal for people to think you're an NPC. Guay now understood. So that's how it is. Then he suddenly remembered something was wrong. Oh no, my bag! Sometime later, the armored girl tiredly put the big bag down on the ground. Then she said to Guay, all right, do you need help with anything else? Guay replied, you've helped me enough, thank you very much. I need to take these things to the warehouse, so from now on I can handle it myself. The armored girl was then startled and asked again, where warehouse? Guay answered honestly, well, even though the items aren't worth much, it's a pity to throw them away. The armored girl then remembered, you're not an NPC. Guay replied, that's right, I'm Miles a minute. You all must have misunderstood something, so please don't mind. The girl now looked angry. You're not an NPC. Guay tried to explain. Well, when I wanted to explain, you guys didn't let me speak. After hearing this, the armored girl put her hand on her head and pulled down her helmet. Then she loudly asked Guay, then who are you? Guay was startled and shouted, a girl. The girl angrily asked back, so what if I'm a girl? Do you have a problem with that, you scammer? After saying that, a large battle axe appeared in this beautiful girl's hand. Seeing the beautiful but fierce girl like an executioner, Guay sweated and said, you have to let me explain first. I already said it's a misunderstanding. Girls shouldn't be so quick to get physical. How about this? I'll give you this bag of items. After saying that, Guay threw the bag straight to the hot-tempered beautiful girl. This took the girl by surprise. Guay turned and said as he walked away, I have something to do. I'm leaving first. The girl asked in surprise. What's inside this bag? Then she also reached out and grabbed the bag. After rummaging for a while, the girl said angrily, This is all trash and you dare to give it to me. He must be messing with me. So the girl shouted, Miles a minute, don't let me see you again. Scene change inside Little Lay's Tavern. Fireball held up 2 fingers and said, Owner, 2 glasses of red wine. Guay cheerfully clicked his tongue. Wow, you made a lot of money, huh? You look so cool. Fireball waved his hand and replied, Not at all. Not at all. I got it from leveling up. Guay asked again in surprise, So how's your guild? Fireball replied, I've found one trying to find a way to get in. Guay asked in surprise, Huh? What's its name? Fireball replied cheerfully, Rebirth, Purple Crystal. After hearing this, Guay immediately spat all his wine onto Fireball's face. Fireball couldn't dodge in time. and took the full blast. Then he wiped his face and asked the other guy, Brother Tui, "Why are you so worked up?" Guay replied perfunctorily, I choked on my wine." Then he changed the subject and said to Fireball, "What's so good about that guild anyway?" Fireball replied, "Brother Tui, you don't know. I had to search the entire ranking board to find this guild. Their strength is just average, just newly opened, but most importantly, it's a beauty guild. Let me read its requirements to you. Number 1 must be independent and self-reliant, not overly lazy." Guay thought to himself. He even took notes. That's impressive. Guay reminded Fireball, "Even if you pass this one, there's still another one." Fireball looked surprised. Guay explained, "Their guild only recruits females." This made Fireball's jaw drop and eyes widen. Then this guy started throwing a tantrum and said, "I don't hear anything, I don't see anything, I don't know anything." Guay confirmed, "This is true." Suddenly Fireball stood up, grabbed Guay's shoulders and asked, "Wait a minute, how do you know they only recruit females?" Guay broke out in a sweat and gave a perfunctory answer. Then he said, "Well, just look at it, they're a beauty guild. Of course they only recruit females." Fireball said smugly, "Why didn't I think of that? I think they recruit females first and then use that to attract male players later. That must be the tactic." Guay thought to himself, "Thinking about when I joined the guild and was discriminated against by those girls. Fireball, you're really wrong this time. How can I persuade him?" At this moment, a hand rested on Guay's shoulder. "You're here too. Miles a minute." Luo greeted Guay. Guay asked in surprise, "Aren't you Luo?" Luo asked back, "Can I sit here seeing the beautiful girl sit down?" Fireball cheered with delight. Of course, of course." Luo introduced herself again. "I am Falling Flower." Heartless Fireball praised, "Nice name." Luo smiled happily and asked with narrowed eyes, "Is that all you know? Complimenting people? So what's your name, friend?" Fireball was thrilled that a beautiful girl was asking for his name. I am this." Luo asked blankly, "What's wrong?" But Fireball didn't dare to say his name. Guay clutched his stomach, laughing. Ha ha ha, his name is a bit special. So he used the wine to write the 2 characters, Fireball, on the table. If you drink it later, it's on you. Luo cheered happily. "Wow, you're all mages. So the name Fireball is quite special." Fireball shouted, "Hey." Luo laughed happily and replied, "It's okay, I'm not a mage." Guay stood up and said, "Then you guys chat. I'm leaving first." But Luo called out again. "Wait," Guay asked blankly. "Is there something else?" Luo threw the emblem to Guay and said, "Here." Guay picked up his emblem and asked, "What is this?" Luo explained, "Every guild member has one." Fireball asked blankly, Brother Tui joined a guild." Guay explained, It's a misunderstanding. I'm just staying here for a few days and then I'll leave." Luo said happily, "That's not for sure. Little Seventh isn't against you. Maybe she'll persuade the other girls to accept a guy like you." Fireball was now filled with a sky full of questions. "Girls guy, which guild did Brother Tui join?" Guay explained, "It's that rebirth purple crystal that you wanted to join." After hearing this, Fireball's whole body trembled. Guay called after him, "Little Fire, you have to let me explain." But Fireball had already jumped over to Luo to plead, "Sister Luo, you see Brother Tui has already gotten in, so can you bring me along too?" Luo replied cheerfully, Sure." Fireball cheered with delight. "Really?" But Luo said something completely nonchalant. "What I say doesn't count." These words made Fireball's whole world crumble, turning him to stone. "Guay, then I'll just take the emblem back." "In short, when you have 20 people, I'll leave." "That's fine. Then Brother Tui, could it be you?" Fireball grabbed Guay's arm and said, "Brother Tui, you don't have to be so yielding. If you had the chance early on, just go for it." Guay exploded in anger and yelled, "What nonsense are you talking about? Do we even know each other?" Fireball, taking advantage of the situation, pouted and said, "I understand everything. No matter what, Brother Tui will always be my good brother." Guay angrily unleashed a move, Chain Fireball launch. Fireball's mouth dropped open in shock and he yelled, "Brother Tui, don't be impulsive." Luo also spoke up to calm him down. "Calm down, please." Little Lei was now crying with tears streaming down his face. "Big brother, please don't wreck my tavern." The guys here asked in surprise, Isn't Chain Fireball a level 30 mage skill? Is this guy really level 30? Another guy replied, I've inspected him. His gear is all trash. He's dressed exactly like an NPC. Meanwhile, Guay's hand was still empty without any fire at all. He was also dazed. The other guys stared blankly and asked, Is he just showing off? He's pretending so hard. Fireball breathed a sigh of relief. So Brother Tui was just scaring me for fun. I thought you really learned that skill. Little Lei was comforted by another guy. Little Lei, don't worry now. Little Lei replied happily. Thank you, big brother. At this moment, Guay stared blankly at his hand. Huh, that's strange. I clearly learned it, and the incantation was so precise. Suddenly, a huge fireball shot out. Boom! This fireball flew out with overwhelming momentum. Then this fireball flew straight into Fireball's head. Guay shouted. So this move has a casting time. Note, casting time is the time it takes to activate a skill. The other guys stared at each other blankly. Why is the skill's casting time so long? I don't know, but it looks quite majestic. I made the right choice, choosing to be a mage. Fireball's head was on fire. But the damage is too low. It burned for so long and only took a little bit of health. How did this mage train to level 30? Or does that guy who got burned have high magic defense? That guy is also wearing trash gear. How could that be? Luo threw water on Fireball's head, but after doing so, the fire grew bigger. She was startled. Oh no, that's wine. The other guys analyzed. Mages add points to intelligence and spirit. That's how you shorten the casting time. But why did he take so long? Another guy then shouted, Wait a minute just now, he seemed to say. Shut up, Chain Fireball launch. Could shut up be a hidden incantation? Let's go try it. Meanwhile, Guay was checking on Fireball, whose face was burned black. Are you okay, someone? Fireball wiped his face, regaining his handsome look, and said, Don't worry about it, we're brothers. No matter what you do, I won't be angry. Guay replied angrily, I have to go now. If you don't let go of my hand, I won't be able to resist slapping you silly. Suddenly outside there was a loud thud as someone slammed a hammer onto the floor. The armored girl said angrily, Miles a minute. Do you think you can escape? Guay was startled. Huh. Isn't this that female warrior? Fireball's eyes lit up as he praised another girl. Brother Tui, what did you eat to be so amazing? The armored girl said no more, just held her battle axe firmly. Then without a word she swung the battle axe, wanting to cut Guay in two. Guay tilted his head to dodge to the side. Then he said in a panic, Miss, if there's something, let's talk. Don't get physical. The girl yelled angrily, After messing with me, what's left to say? Guay thought as he dodged, I should still go outside. If I break something in here, I'll have to pay a fortune. The armored girl yelled angrily, Don't run, stand right there for me. After saying that, she chased Guay outside. Seeing he was outside, Guay took out his longsword swoosh. Then he said to the girl, Miss, if I've offended you in any way, please just tell me slowly. He thought to himself, This girl seems very stubborn. Just by looking at how she insisted on carrying that bag, I can tell. It seems this fight is unavoidable. I have to fight. The armored girl had a hot temper. She then swung her battle axe up to chop wood. Less talk. Seeing the huge axe coming down, Guay quickly jumped back to dodge. He slid a long way on the ground before finally stopping and thinking, such strong force. Then Guay stomped his foot and his body shot forward. Next, Guay charged forward at lightning speed. The armored girl then realized something was wrong. Oh no, I used too much force and can't pull it out. At this moment, Guay had already rushed over. The armored girl was still struggling to pull out the axe. Damn it! Guay swung his sword and slashed. Clang. Gufei's sword hit the girl's shoulder. But Gufei's eyes widened in surprise, no damage at all. The girl clutched her smoking shoulder plate and said, You scared me. It seems you only have this much attack power. You basically can't do anything to me. Fireball then stepped out and asked, Brother Tui is so powerful. How can he not deal any damage? Luo explained. Because she's a heavy armored warrior. Fireball asked in surprise. A heavy armored warrior. Luo explained to this guy, heavy armored warriors have the highest physical defense points. Compared to a regular warrior, a heavy armored warrior has a much slower attack speed. Their main weapons are greatswords, spears, and battle axes. Miles a minute is a mage, so wanting to use a sword to break through her defense is even more impossible. Guay was silent at this moment, thinking to himself, That last sword strike was just like when I attacked Tacto. Hitting the upper armor, no damage. Suddenly, Guay realized something. He shouted, "Could it be? I have to try it out." After thinking, he immediately changed his angle of attack. The girl had now lifted her battle axe, shouting as she slashed, "You still dare to come? That broken sword of yours can't do anything to me." But at this moment, Guay's figure flashed. The armored girl looked around blankly and asked, "Huh, where did he go?" Guay had now jumped high up. Then he thought to himself, "I have to try attacking the top of her helmet. Maybe that spot has no defense." Guay leaped down. He appeared behind the armored girl, ready to, stab. Guay swung his longsword and stabbed straight and hard. This stunned both Fireball and Falling Flower heartless. With a clang, a line was cut into the armored girl's helmet. Guay's face went blank as he thought, "It's over. This seems to be the worst-case scenario. For boss designs at different locations, the company gives them different types of defense. Players also have this kind of design on them. Places not covered by armor still have defense equivalent to other places. Trying to exploit gaps to attack weak points is extremely difficult." The girl sighed at this moment. "You scared me. Your speed is really fast." Guay thought again. "It's really difficult. If I'm not careful, I'll—" At this moment, the onlookers shouted, "Use magic, use magic!" Guay thought to himself, "Damn it, I almost forgot I'm a mage." So he shouted, "Fireball, fireball," on the other side shouted, "Here I am." Guay swung his hand, throwing the ball and shouting, "Shoot!" The ball shot out. At this moment, the armored girl was also startled. She turned to look. The blazing fireball was still rushing straight towards her. Luo Luo on this side shouted, Oh, heavy armored warriors only have high physical defense. They have no defense against magic." Fireball was now screaming and shouting, Go, knock her down." But the armored girl swung her battle axe up. Then she swung and slashed the fireball, causing it to shatter. Swoosh. These embers are so annoying. Guay was sweating profusely, and Fireball stammered, embers." The other guys were also dejected. "He's right, the attack power is trash." The armored girl on this side was startled and shouted, "So you're a mage?" Guay silently cried and thought, "Is this girl's brain filled with water? We've been fighting for so long, and she just realized I'm a mage." The girl now exclaimed, "No wonder your attacks didn't hurt me at all, so you're just a mage. But why would a mage use a sword to fight so stupid?" Then she was startled and realized something. "Wait a minute, could it be you?"